Hello, everyone. Welcome to season 4 of Summit Esports. I'm your co host, Gargoomba, and with me today is Newcaster on the desk, Kat.
Hello.
How
Welcome
are
again
you
to
doing
season
today?
4. I'm doing well.
It's good to
I'm
hear.
excited
That's
to
good.
get into this match.
Yeah.
Already have an
So,
Ari and Seraphine picked.
yeah. So today we have our matchup between Conflict of Interest, our favorite team full of, moderators and admins that I don't even know how they got together, but it
None.
worked out that way. And we also have Feeders Anonymous, which I believe is a new team that made up by a person from VLN, or is it Penguin 50?
No, none of those are from VLN.
Oh no. Okay. Do you know where Callisto yourself is from?
I honestly have no idea. I can only vouch for VLN. I'm also a new joinee of Summit as of season 4 from Very Last Nerve server. So they aren't from Very Last Nerve. I don't have much of an idea who they are, but none of those players
Gotcha.
are.
Well, with a new season comes new teams, and so I'm excited to see how it all goes up. Looking at the draft right now, I clearly see the Tubby first pick Ari. They've been
Hmm.
playing a lot of Ari Lux, and so having Ari being a really safe mid lane champ currently, I think it's fine to first pick it. I haven't really seen Flash of Knight's pool too much this season, but I think contesting the Ari early is pretty good for him.
From what
So
I can see here, I do see a lot of Talia, but Talia can be a bit of an issue from Ari, but we'll have to see if it actually gets drafted from Flash of Night.
I mean, the Seraphine Syndra did get drafted. I think the Syndra is in
Right, right,
response to the Ari,
right. Yeah,
so
Syndra probably is a response to Ari. Not much of an issue for Ari, really. Um, Syndra Z can be a little bit annoying into the later phase as Ari tries to RFE in and just gets knocked away. But I don't think it's actually that big of a counter matchup. So I think you're right. I think Tubbington will be just fine with that blind picked Ari.
yeah.
Which fan?
Uh, I am surprised because Feeders Anonymous has Flash of Night as their mid laner, and Flash of Night is a very prominent Azir main. And so seeing the Azir not being picked up despite it being open, uh, I'm wondering if either A, he's trying to open up his pool into more control slash burst mages, so like, the Azir isn't always banned,
Mhm.
or maybe this could be a Syndra bot angle.
Syndra bot would be a little bit wild, especially with the Seraphine down. Although two mages in the bot lane, it's a little risky, especially when you're drafting them right away. But if your opponent doesn't know that that's actually meant to be bot lane, I don't hate it, but the rest of the comp kind of has to play around the fact that you don't have an attack damage carry in the bot lane. But with the prevalence of mid lane carries, like Tristana and Corki, I'm not sure how well Flash of Night plays
The
either
Nyla
of those.
pickup.
Guess that answers our question.
Okay, so it is the Syndra mid to counter up the Ari. I am intrigued by the Mordekaiser pickup for David. It's probably just because he didn't want to get himself banned still, because the Orden is already gone. But it's a lot of magic damage on Feeders
It's a lot
Anonymous.
of magic damage. I guess they're thinking that, I mean, a Nyla alone can do a hefty amount of AD damage, but if that Nyla gets blown up and they're building a lot of MR, then it could be difficult for Fetus Anonymous to cut through conflict of interest.
Twisted Fate is picked up, which means it's probably going to be an ADTF top. And, that is a pretty good matchup into Mordekaiser so long as he's able to kite it out properly. Uh, but, Death Realm, as soon as he gets on top, it's going to be really difficult for Twisted Fate to escape unless he uses stun card
Hmm.
properly. But we'll see how that goes in the game. They also do pick up the Viego, which
Not a
to
lot of
some people is
frontline.
a. Yeah, there's not a lot of frontline on conflict of interest. It's mostly a lot of trying to start fights early and getting picks for the Viego and the Ari. So if this Mordekaiser and the new Volibear pickup are able to just take it out and catch some of their carries, then Feeders Anonymous definitely has a good chance of playing it out against them because of how volatile conflict of interest's comp wants to be.
Yeah,
But
very volatile. I think they just want to play for those picks, the RAR engages, the crescendos, enchanted crystal arrows. Just want to try and catch one or two members of Feeders Anonymous out. And if they kind of don't, it's going to be rough for them to enter these team fights with an even man comp because if there's a strong carry, Mordekaiser can ult them away. And I think they'll just kind of get shredded by the Syndra, by the Nyla. This looks like a pretty good comp for Nyla as long as she doesn't get picked out. She can have pretty good one-shot potential.
yeah, it is a little sketch though, just because Nyla is such a short range AD carry, and
Right.
because they have so much backline on their team as well, it almost feels like unless Volibear engages, Nyla's going to get poked down if she goes in.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be kind of hard for Fadas Anonymous to find an angle to get into these fights. It, it's it looks though like they will have good counter engage. Like if they get engaged upon by Twisted Fate with a gold card, Viego with a W or with an alt, then Feeders Anonymous has decent follow up. Engage. The Nyla can turn, the Sarah can turn, the Volley can turn, but it's going to be up to Conflict of Interest to kind of set the pace of this game. I don't see how Feeders Anonymous could ever really be in the driver's seat unless they're very far ahead.
Right. But at least in that driver's seat, you know, they're comfortable sitting on that right lane, chilling until they scale up. So we'll see how it goes from there. We are going to take it to a break. Do you have any last thoughts, Kat, on this draft before we go off?
Not much. It's going to be interesting to see how the laning phases go. I think the Twisted Fate might get a good lead on a Mordekaiser, and it could be hard for Mord to enter and eat. Death Realm, at a certain point, you're just spelling your own doom with that ability. And if this Twisted Fate gets far enough ahead in laning phase, I'm just really interested to see how Mordekaiser is going to deal with the pressure a range top puts on and how Volibear is going to respond on the top side. But other than that, I don't have much more to add. Already been over it.
Alrighty. Well, Summit, we will be back in about 3 to 5 minutes after we catch up with Caster Delay. See you then. Welcome back, Summit Esports, to a already bustling game one between Conflict of Interest and Feeders Anonymous. My name is Gargoomba, and with me today is Kat, once again.
Hello, hello.
And all I can say is free mana flow stacks to Azure Thean. I have no idea if that's how you're supposed to pronounce that name, but that's gonna. I have been noted as Azure Thean, but I'm just gonna say Azure anyways. It makes it easier. Anyways, Pyrosis walking face first into David. Not sure how that's gonna go. The screen is currently haunted by an options menu, but we don't call that anything. But yeah, what are your expectations for how early game should go for this game, Kat?
Well, considering what I'm already seeing, I don't know if I should have expectations anymore. But what I think here is I think top is going to be pretty hard for David to play into in top side. DV4VP. I don't know actually how you say his username. I think Pyrosis might get a good lead just from that pressure the TF top can provide. It's interesting to kind of see is if Darjuice is actually going to play towards top side and try and minimize some of that early pressure, or if he's just going to play for bot side and kind of ignore it. As for bot side, I think it's the double range into one melee, one range is going to make it pretty easy for Strand to get a lead, but I think Kalista could have been going easy. Already some big damage though. Not too sure what we're going to see, but early on, it already looks like a lot of damage is coming out, even with Comet. What do you think of the Comet pick?
Comet Ash is very poke-oriented, and I think that's fine for how they want to play this game out, especially when they don't want to really commit to a fur fight. They want to mostly just get a pick and then peel off, and I think the Comet Ash helps with that, assuming that he's pulling like a spam lethality build. Although I'm not sure how exactly that would go with after so many patches between assassin items and marksman stuff. But it looks like we're having a little fight here. Tubby and Flash and Knight getting some pokes in. But even with the follow-up on Nightmare, there's not much of a catch. Pyrosis guild cards. David's ghosting straight into Pyrosis, but I don't think it's going to lead into a kill, especially since the Mordekaiser has already been burned.
Yeah, very fearless. Just I guess trying to get some early damage. Now, when you out sustain, it kind of makes sense to go for
David with the pull. Pyrosis falls up by a gold card. Fleet Footwork is doing his healing. He's gonna do some more poking. David's looking and flashes in. Pyrosis flashes out right at the exact time that he needed to, and it's gonna go into a standstill. I'm not sure who I'd be happy if I was, David, especially since I burnt both sums while Pyrosis still has Ghost. So he might be ran down with.
I think. Hold on, we got another fight down here, but I don't know if it's actually going to continue very far. I think I'm happy being David here. More sustain, more pressure in the lane, getting Pyrosis' flash out as well. Pyrosis still has the Ghost. He's going to burn it now, but look at how low Pyrosis is. Under tower here as well.
Darjuice is looking to posture. Flashes in. Can't stun either of them. Nightmare's able to follow up and stuns Darjuice. It might be a finish. Diego's good looking in. He's shrouds. Oh, Glitch jumps in and they actually get the kill onto Nightmare. First blood goes over to Feeders Anonymous, but Lord Tubbyton actually rotates up since he knows David has no sums and gets a free kill on him too.
Very messy fight. Yeah. It has to hurt for the Volibear not getting any Qs off, but feels a little bit better whenever Viego flashes into you and kind of grants you a kill. Good cross map by Tubbyton. Sees that everyone's bot lane, knows that it's free to go top, knows that David burned all of his summoners, immobile Mordekaiser. Ahri, very easy, just picks up that free kill and keeps back the lane.
And just for reference to new viewers and as well as to yourself, Kat, Lord Tubbyton was a support player last season, and he's opted into mid lane, probably just to, play more of the mages that he likes playing compared to just being stuck on enchanters supports. So, being able to see Tubby make more proactive plays on champions that can actually carry is really nice to see. It's also going to be, a little dangerous for other teams to see how exactly he's able to play around the map. So, it's a nice change of pace, and I'm really happy to see it.
I like the proactive play there to go cross down, but he's got a lot of CS already very early into this game. 12 CS difference almost will make up the kill. What are they doing on the side?
Azure is up here to back up Dart Juice. They might be posturing for early grubs, although I feel like it's a little early for that rotation.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I guess Azure just sees where the wave state's at and decides that now is an alright time to kind of leave my lane, but it's a little bit
Yes.
left for Kalista.
Oh, Lord Tubbyton gave her surgery. Caught Azure in the ward bush.
Darn.
Azure has the flash over in the blue, but Lord Tubbyton ults, is able to get out, misses the ult over the wall, but it doesn't matter because it's another free kill for Lord Tubbyton.
Have to be careful when you're walking places without vision when you're a support that they know is going to have to walk back to lane. You can't just recall and walk back to lane. So you have to be careful and not get caught out on that rotation. And I guess just took a risky route, no vision. Could see the pink ward from Conflict of Interest. Kind of doing a lot of work there. Unspoken hero of that pick. And it's going to be kind of important. 2 kills already on Tubbyton. See how proactive he can be.
Well, seeing Lord Tubbyton's gameplay from earlier, he's probably going to take that running in strides, so we'll see how it goes later on, especially since Ahri has a 600 gold lead over, 600 gold lead over the Syndra, and you know, despite the CS difference, I think the 2 kills have made up for it at this point.
They have for now, but I have to see if the trend continues because 11 CS isn't nothing.
Gamer Destroyer getting caught out by Dart Juice, but I don't think he'll have anything to kill him. Not much happening top lane. Pyrosis is trading after David already does his
very even. I can't complain if I'm David. I'm down a death. I'm into a range top as a pretty short range melee, and I'm even CS. I mean, all things considered, playing around that TF top very well.
Pyrosis did pick up the Swifty boots though, so it's going to be much harder for Mordekaiser to actually catch up to the Twisted Fate, especially if David opts towards the Rylai's rush. The Swifties will be doing a lot of work on making sure that he's not going to be stuck inside Mordekaiser's zone as long.
Very hard for a juggernaut like Mordekaiser to fight around champs that can just take him out with Twisted Fate. But have to see. Death Realm does change things, but kind of has to be in a position to land the Death Realm. I don't know if he's going to want to flash forward for it. That's a little bit risky, but let's see how it goes. Jungle as well, already a pretty big lead for Dart Juice over Nightmare. Gonna be interesting to see as we go towards the mid game how much pressure at objectives this Viego is going to be able to have compared to Volibear with a kill lead and a 10 CS 2-3 camp lead.
Now, as just a little under a minute ago, we did see that Feeders Anonymous was able to pick up a free Hextech Soul. You know, just going off of wave states, bot lane was already frozen, so they didn't really have a lot of pressure to worry about from their jungler or mid laner. Dart Juice is looking to gank Pyrosis. Pyrosis does burn the ghost. He flashes out as well. And I don't think Feeders is going to chase that. At least they should, rather.
No way they can. It's a smart play to get the Death Realm off before the gank. That way they know where Pyrosis is going to come out. However, just so much move speed with Swifties and with Ghosts that it's just impossible for a Volibear to catch without burning Flash. And I guess he just decided the better of it, or he never even got into Flash Q range.
Now, we did see earlier, Lord Tubbyton did opt to make a big trade against Flash of Night. While there was no kill made out of it, they did have Lord Tubby burn ults. So, unless if Flash of Night plays it well, he shouldn't worry too much about getting caught. So, I think I'd be happy. It looks like Flash of Night will be taken aback as he has to reset, but that will also cause him to lose quite a little bit of CS, which, you know, isn't a really good option at this point when you're already losing in gold compared to Ahri. Oh, he's actually opting to stay.
A little bit greedy. Ariel doesn't have a super long cooldown. Nightmare has everything up as well. It's going to be very hard for Nightmare to ever get on top of Flash of Night, so I kind of understand the choice here, especially with how hard Lord Tubbyton's pushing. But he's going to lose a lot of priority. But no neutral up at the moment, so he's not sacking it for very much.
Now, the bot lane for Conflicts of Interest is slow pushing towards Feeders Anonymous. Twisted Fate comes to gank the Syndra, and I'm pretty sure that's a free kill. Another kill goes over to Lord Tubbyton. That is 3-0.
Too far up if you're playing in a mobile mage and there's a Twisted Fate in the game and you're gonna stay greedy like that, you have to basically play under your tower. But he's got a little bit greedy for wave. He's trying to push it in before he took it back, and Twisted Fate burns Destiny to get the kill, a third kill on Tubbyton. Played it very well as well. Flashed it into the charm. Made sure that Flash of Night did not even have the chance to flash.
Oh, Pyrosis getting stuck in the death realm, and David gets a single bonk and finishes Pyrosis. Nightmare is up here to catch the wave, but he's going to get caught as well. I don't think David's going to be able to kill just because of how much move speed. Azure whiffs the Seraphine ult. Glissa tries to follow up and gets flashed into the Gamer Destroyer Crescendo. Well played, honestly. Conflict of Interest, being able to peel off the 2v3 just like that. I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, I wouldn't complain. Better Sona clone, original Sona clone, better Sona clone, I guess.
It's true. Dark Juice ults onto the tower, flashes atop of Strand. Strand has the flash in response. Nyla flashes, uses her ult. I don't even know what the ult name is, but it's not enough damage to actually do anything. Lord Tubbyton TPs, hoping to get a pick and reset onto Azure. But I think it's not going to happen. Charm onto Dark Juice, and Dark Juice is taking down a fourth kill for Lord Tubbyton. Citrus stuns Lord Tubbyton. Pyrosis is here to help with the fight. Azure's solo. Azure is dead. Pyrosis getting its first kill of the game. Double kill in the game. And that is a 0 for 4 for Conflict of Interest. Flash of Night is in a really bad position. He might get caught. Gold card comes out for Pyrosis, Gamer Destroyer, and the Charm from Lord Tubbyton. Another kill. 5-0 Lord Tubbyton at 12 minutes. Wow. That is crazy.
Too far up on a comp that can rotate so quickly. The Twisted Fate, Ahri, Ahri has TP. The ult's always going to be up with Malignance. Destiny is going to be up a lot of the time too. Just cannot extend that far forward. And Nightmare just going to die under tower.
David gets a solo kill. Tries the bonk, but Pyrosis just does so much damage now.
Ooh.
And gets picked off by Mordekaiser.
And that, by the way, called Apotheosis. Very cool name. But not enough. Not cool enough to get the kills there.
Right? Unfortunately, not really much you can do there, considering how the gold distribution is currently. I think, well, commentators' opinion aside, I feel like the bot fight was really forced, especially since we know you have to be wary about the TFL as well as TP from Lord Tubbyton. And while I think the aggression was fine, I just feel like doing it in between tier 1 and tier 2 tower this early is really greedy. So
I absolutely agree that this comp, if there's one thing it excels at, is how quick those rotates can be and how much pressure they can always exert. Destiny always has such a huge range. Ahri ult, again, makes it so easy to rotate. The W for extra movement speed. Ashe Enchanted Crystal Arrow always gives us a cross-map presence. Just a ton of cross-map presence. While there's like almost no mobility on the side of Feeders Anonymous. And now that they're behind...
Fight goes in. Three-man Crescendo onto from Game Destroyer, but Glissa yourself is able to pick up Strand. Looks like Pyrosis and David are fighting right now. I don't know if that's in the Death Realm or not because they're not highlighted, but I don't think so. Pyrosis is just kiting David right now. And Pyrosis just gets the solo kill onto David. So 1-for-1 trades around the map, but they do show a lot of presence bot lane. With the pressure at the bot lane though, Feeders Anonymous is looking to get the Dragon Soul. Nice stun from Flash of Night, trying to dissuade Ahri from Charming. And because of this, Nightmare is responding to a topside counter jump.
Gotta give a shout out to Gamer Destroyer for that crescendo there. It was, I mean, it didn't ultimately matter. This kill still went down, but it was a beautiful 3-person stun, but just not enough to escape that damage and the lockdown coming out from Feeders Anonymous.
Oh, I didn't even realize Conflict of Interest took Herald. Pyrosis is taking towers so fast right now. Glissa yourself is looking to try to catch Pyrosis out, But he's
Getting
just
excited
too fat.
out.
It's level 12 to level 9 Nyla. Lord Tubbington comes over the wall and gets the solo kill onto Glitzy yourself. Charm goes out onto David. David is stunned for the gold card. They're poking. They're poking. Nightmare is low. Flash and Knight gets a triple stun, but they're not able to do anything. Nightmare flashes out. They're looking to chase. Charm onto Flash and Knight. Azure uses the W to try to speed him up, but I don't think they have the movement speed to actually catch him. Another Charm card's at a low target time. They're turning it back. David gets downed by Nightmare. Reset comes out. They do kill the Viego because of Flash and Knight's ult. Lord Tubbington gets another pick. It's a 2v1 right now. Azure doesn't have Flash up right now. Pyrosis Flash Charm studs. Oh my god, there's so many words coming out of my mouth right now. Lord Tubbington is 8-0 right now. Dark Juice is in a really bad position. What are you doing, buddy? Buffers the Charm with his ultimate. Destiny comes out with the stun card and does he get him? Trades 1-for-1. He does get the shutdown onto TF, but that is a huge advantage for Conflict of Interest right now.
And it's really the same story as the death in between T1 and T2 bot lane. Just way too far over, very aggressive at the start, what looks like a good fight, but they have to realize there comes a point where their play just doesn't work anymore, and they can't keep chasing. These rotates from Tubbington and Pyrosis, they're just always going to be very quick, and they just keep over-aggressive. And it just kind of spells disaster for them as they're behind 6k gold right now. It's a lot for Feeders Anonymous to be down.
Yeah. Hopefully Feeders Anonymous recognizes that, like, we can't be taking these fights anymore because we're that behind. And, you know, it's still going to be really dangerous to actually, like, contest anything now because there's 6k gold. Granted, most of the gold is only on Ahri and Twisted Fate right now, but that's also the main playmakers for that team. So, I don't know. Feeders Anonymous are going to have to figure out how to, you know, side lane without getting caught, but with all their towers being down and having to play against 4 grub tower damage, it's just really difficult to try to catch up at this point in the game.
And I'm not even sure... Hold on, bit of a fight. Death Realm coming out.
Lord Tubbington is caught out by the Death Realm. He does get charged, but David is not running away. Nightmare is here to back him up. The Death Realm ends, stuns David. David is forced to flash. Nightmare follows it up with the ult, and he kills David. Meanwhile, bot side, Callisto yourself is diving on the Pyrosis and gets the kill under tower. 1-for-1 trade. Dark Juice is there to hover, but, you know, no one else is going to be there. So, GamerD flash ults.
Wow.
Flash and Knight also has to respond with his own flash, but, you know, I'm happy. Trading support for mid lane flashes is entirely worth it.
Gamer's story has kind of been going off with these crescendos on Sona. That one would have hit as well if Flash of Night didn't burn Flash for it. It's kind of putting on a masterclass of the Sona ult.
I don't know if Sona's really been played in the last season, so seeing GamerD pull this out and like smurfing on it is crazy.
It really is. I don't know if Feeders Anonymous can really complain. They did get that one kill onto Pyrosis in the bot side, and they're kind of just playing for scraps right now. They're really not. They're not very much in control of this game with all these towers down and so far behind. They just kind of got to let everything trickle down from conflict of interest fights.
Destiny does come out. They spot Dark Juice. Dark Juice does get gold carded. Nightmare tries to follow up. Dark Juice is forced to ult out. TP does come out from Lord Tubbington, but is dissuaded by the Syndra Flash or Syndra E. And it looks like they want to try to shove mid as fast as possible. Strand and GamerD are here to catch the wave as well, but they're currently splitting the map. I think Conflict of Interest wants to try to ward them off from Dragon as it is currently spawning. Lord Tubbington ults in, is unable to land the charm, but I think Flash Knight's still caught, and a kill goes over to Pyrosis. David is spotted in the bush because of the ward, misses the E. Lord Tubbington is still looking to fight. He's getting CC chain. David can't move for 5 seconds. A Pyrosis takes up another kill.
A nice Enchanted Crystal Arrow from Strand, stopping David from even being able to pull the W on Mordekaiser. It's kind of where a lot of his burst resistance comes from, and without that, he's not really that tanky. Especially not with his passive running. He's just too far over there.
Feeders Anonymous is doing their best to try to prevent as much damage going onto their tower, but They have just so much range. There's only so much they can do to try to defend that.
I'm really not sure what they're ever going to be able to get done here. They are kind of locked into a very lose-lose scenario. They stay here and don't get much done and kind of lose their tower anyway, or they go for a fight and lose even more. Now everyone's here. They're looking for a fight.
Dart Juice! Dart Juice! He flashes out. Glister yourself is trying to go look for a fight, but is caught. Oh my god, there's so much happening. Pyrosis gets into the back line. David is death round. He kills Nightmare solo. But unfortunately, he's stuck in a 1v4. David is doing his best to try to fight, but he's just getting CC chained over and over again. Strand picks up the kill on David. Is another 1-for-3 trade for Conflict of Interest, and they look to siege in tower. Lord Templeton ults in, tries to get Azure, gets the charm in between the minions somehow. Pyrosis picks up another kill. And it's now down to 1-4. There's not much Dart Juice can do.
Has to feel bad for Azure, landing a fantastic encore onto 3 targets under tower, and still just not enough follow-up from anyone else on Feeders Anonymous to take that team fight, and it's looking pretty bleak. If you can't win fights like that with massive team fight ults, all of them landing under tower, then it's going to be extremely difficult for them to get back in the game, especially with that middle inhibitor down, especially with losing all their jungle camps. And pretty soon, if I had to take a guess, Conflict of Interest is going to look towards Baron, and that could be the game just off that Baron play alone.
Yeah, Conflict of Interest definitely must feel really strong right now. They are opting towards bot side clear. I'd rather pull the trigger on Baron just because of how strong we are, but you know, I guess safety in numbers. Glister yourself is starting to get strong. He is close to the Infinity Edge at this point, and realistically, how these fights want to play out for Feeders Anonymous is somehow they get in a line for Seraphine to get a good Encore, and from that Encore, Glister yourself should be able to get a nice Apotheosis combo and deal a lot of damage for Dart Juice and Flash Knight to follow up on, but it's just really difficult for them to do that because, you know, Lord Tybington has a lot of mobility to get out of that. Gamer Destroyer can self-peel with the Crescendo, and the Enchanted Crystal Arrow catches out Dart Juice. He's forced to ult out. Destiny comes out, a lot of flashes burning, and solo ult onto Dart Juice gets a free pick. Nightmare turns into Volibear, Lord Tybington gets the Gulging, and Pyrosis gets a stun card onto Azure. They're looking to continue the fight. Blister yourself has to use their W to try to block the rest of the cards, and it is a 2-death advantage for Conflict of Interest as they look towards the Baron.
Really no contest Feeders Anonymous is going to be able to put up there. Well played again, Gamer Destroyer landing Crescendo, Pyrosis flashing forward to land the gold card. Really well executed fights, and it's so easy for Feeders Anonymous to walk too far forward here, since too far forward is in their own jungle.
Enchanted Crystal Arrow from Strand was also really smart for that was the whole reason that fight started.
Really well aimed, well targeted. Fantastic shot. They've been playing really well here on the side of Conflict of Interest. No bias at all from the casters, of course. No admins on Conflict of Interest.
There's no admin bias.
No admins. We can show you another Enchanted Crystal Arrow.
Nightmare tries to go in. Glister yourself is forced to cleanse, but Flash of Night was able to stun Viego before any fight could actually happen. Lord Tybington is looking mid, catches out Azure, and that is an 11-0 Rabadon's by Ahri at 24 minutes. Oh my god.
10 stacks, Dark Seal, 11-0-11. Really gonna run away with this game. Pyrosis as well, both of them so strong. It's with such an advantage and such a lead, it's hard to imagine even a masterfully played Encore, Apotheosis, Syndra E. I just don't think it's enough, even if they land it all.
David is getting kited out by Pyrosis. He has so much attack speed right now, and that's just a dead Mordekaiser.
And it just feels bad at this point for Feeders Anonymous. It's so
Flash
hard
of
to win
Knight's
the
looking
game.
for a catch on Strand. Ults gets the actual solo kill on the Strand. But Lord Tybington's here to follow up. Encore whiffs, but it's okay because it's a peeling one, so that Lord Tybington can't ult under tower for Flash of Night. Blister yourself is looking at Pyrosis. Dodges the stun card. He gets another shutdown onto Twisted Fate. Nightmare's looking to kill Azure and get the reset, but I don't think they're going to commit to it. They'd rather just take the safe play and go into tower.
Well, I mean, all things considered, I guess that's a best case scenario for Feeders Anonymous. Getting 2 kills there. The Kalista W finally actually putting in work against that Twisted Fate.
It was also responsible for the last catch that they got with Twisted Fate, but yeah, that W is
That is true, yep.
It's work for Blister yourself to get onto Pyrosis.
You know, 2 items, almost 3. He's clawing his way into this game. He's not completely out of it.
Yeah, I just hope, you know, for the Feeders Anonymous believers, I really hope that Kalista's able to actually scale up and have his frontliners be able to take some damage so that he could follow up with Azure.
Yeah, it's so hard for them to get much pressure here too, because 1 Enchanted Crystal Arrow and this game's over. Like, if they get another pick here, they should collect. Sorry, having a stroke. Conflict of Interest just needs 1 more good fight here, and they can close out the game. So Nightmare looking for something on Dart Juice.
It's possible.
Oh, and the Enchanted Crystal Arrow hits.
Nightmare is forced to, you know, back off because Dart Juice flashes, but that's a flash off of the Volley Bear. There's no way for them to engage. Lord Tubbyton ults in, misses the charm of the David, but is able to get out. David tries the Death Realm. Actually, he does get the Death Realm, but, you know, he's stuck over the wall. He's going to get caught up by the rest. Strand goes way too far, is forced to burn the flash. Encore does miss. David is fighting the rest of the team of Conflict of Interest. Is he 1v4? No, he is not. And Lord Tubbyton gets another catch. Meanwhile, Pyrosis used the Destiny to actually TP top and take that top inhib. Feeders Anonymous, you're going to have to try to catch this Twisted Fate, because there's a lot going around the map, and you don't have the numbers to support it.
I'm interested to see how they're going to try and defend here. Down a man. Bot inhib's down. Min inhib probably going to fall here as well. Interested to see if they're actually going to pull off the last stand, or if Conflict of Interest is even going to go for the Nexus here. I don't think they are.
I think they're happy with where they are. Personally, I would pull the trigger to try to end, but I understand that they want to try to get all the lanes ahead as supers.
Yep.
But if Feeders Anonymous are able to stall out this game any longer, then having the double supers would be able to give, you know, their carries a lot more gold for them to catch. But they're looking to take this top tower. There are no minions because of Flash of Night being able to clear it so fast.
Nightmare, Dark Juice.
Nightmare is looking to get a good angle off through mid lane, but
that bot wave, if they don't send someone to respond, that bot wave is going to start taking Nexus towers very soon. Pyrosis on the side. Gold card.
Ooh, Dart Juice is looking for an angle. Ults on top of Pyrosis, gets the stun off through his stun. Calista yourself tries to follow up on the Pyrosis, but Pyrosis ghosted. He's so fast. Death Realm is on top of Nightmare. Nightmare's first flash, he ults away. David, he's getting stuck there. David, oh no, Nightmare gets stunned. Meanwhile, Calista yourself jumps onto the Lord Tubbyton and Pyrosis. Dart Juice is smacking the hell out of Pyrosis. There's a double kill return on top of Feeders Anonymous. They catch out Gamer D. It's 3 for 1. Actually, it's not even 3 for 1, it's 3 for 0. Dart Juice is looking for Strand right now, but he does have the Dead Man's, but Strand is playing the volley game right now.
That's so distracted by that pick on the side. I don't even understand how David lived that. Has to feel rough getting kited out in these Death Realms, but whenever you have Calista yourself doing so much work, getting these picks on Pyro and Tubbyton, hard to complain, and those shutdowns are really going to put him in the game. Feeders Anonymous not out of it yet. Calista yourself, big plays, might have to put on quite a performance to make this a carry, and it looks like they're going to go for Baron here.
Yeah, especially whoever got the shutdown on the Ahri. I didn't quite catch it since I was looking
I
at Calista
think
yourself.
Calista got it.
That's insane amount of gold. Getting a like 1.6k total gold off of 2 kills. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow does catch Calista yourself, but I don't think it's enough. David is super low. Nightmare tries to go in, doesn't get the Baron. And even though David does fall to Strand, I think I'd be happy. Lord Tubbyton's looking in the back line, dashes on top of Azure. Azure lives, no, he's dead. Lord Tubbyton gets a reset in the heal. Strand is just wailing on top of Flash of Night, and Dart Juice is forced to run away. But Lord Tubbyton does have the ult. Does he hit the charm? Does he hit the charm? Oh, they're just
Strafing,
goading
gold
him.
card, and that's
And
gonna be it.
that's it.
That's game. They get the Baron, but it was too risky. They just tried to make that aggressive Baron call while they had the little bit of breathing room with Pyrosis and Tubbyton dead, but they get back in the fight, and even with the Baron going the way of Theaters Anonymous, it's not enough for them to turn that fight. Just too much damage coming in from all sides, slowly whittling them away, one pick at a time, and eventually, Theaters Anonymous going to fall, conflict of interest. 1-0.
What a game. Conflict of Interest took the early leads crazy. Starting off with that bot play that Dart Juice unfortunately overcommitted for, but as a Volibear jungle player, it's just really unfortunate that he wasn't able to get in range for the stuns. Uh, but also Lord Tubbyton getting the early rotate on top of Mordekaiser and catching him when both players don't have some top lane. It's just really, it just hurts if your feeder's anonymous that we're winning a lane and all of a sudden your mid laner shows up. So well played to all the map presence that Conflict of Interest was showing throughout the entire game. Hopefully, Feeders Anonymous will be able to find a solution to that, though, as we head into game two. Do you have any last words you want to say, Kat?
I mean, we really saw that Destiny, the Ariel, that rotational speed. Once they got a bit of a lead, it was so hard for Fetus Anonymous. So much overbearing pressure. Anytime they go for an aggressive play, and that Twisted Fate just gets there, that Ari just gets there, punishing that over aggression, quickly snowballing conflict of interest lead. Little bit rocky near the end, getting a little aggressive on fights. Callista yourself trying to make a good showing and get them back in the game, but just not enough for Fetus Anonymous. Conflict of interest. Crushing victory. That's all I have.
All right, Summit. In the meantime, we will wait for game two draft. So we'll be back when draft is up then. Welcome back, Summit Esports, from a very quick break, but we're ready for the draft of game two between Feeders Anonymous and Conflict of Interest. Uh, I'm your host Gar. With me to again is Kat.
Hello, hello.
And it looks like Feeders Anonymous opted towards blue side for game two. Uh, I think there's a lot of strong first picks available with between those two teams right now, so I completely understand why Feeders Anonymous wants to go for a first pick. It does look like Feeders Anonymous lost a ban though, so I don't know if. Okay, so right now we
Okay.
have a Kartha Zoe ban for Feeders Anonymous, while they have a Calista ban, obviously, for Calista yourself on Feeders Anonymous.
Yeah,
Not too.
okay.
So, at least going off of what we have right now, Nothing too crazy. I did get a manager's note that we are restarting the draft though, but just going off of what we have so far, there's not really much to predict. I'm probably assuming that Feeders Anonymous is looking for either a Zir or Ari first pick, just because they want to get mid lane on a comfort champ against Tubby, who's probably stronger than Flash and Knight currently. But
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't.
what a showing from Tubby in that last match. I could not blame him if they wanted to pick a strong champ away from him.
He'd probably up into Lux. I can't even English. Lux. Uh, but we'll see how it goes from there. I do like the Karthus ban, although I'm not sure if Nightmare plays Karthus. Then again, he's a bit of a meta abuser, so we'll see how it goes from there. But what are you thinking for the draft? Do you think CO or Conflict of Interest is going to go for another solo queue pick comp like that, or do you think they're going to draft something more
I
front to
mean,
back oriented?
if it ain't broke, I guess. I can't really see them picking much else. They played really well even with just that solo queue comp. Didn't have the greatest of synergies, but just that rotational strength, being able to be in kind of all three lanes at once with their mid and top. If they get ahead, get an early kill or two on Tubby or on Pyrosis, I think if they run another comp like that, a comp with a lot of rotations, a lot of cross map pressure, then I think they'll do pretty well, basically, no matter what Feeders Anonymous pick here.
Gotcha. And it looks like they're going to ban Seraphine third, which is surprising because I thought they would want to pick up Seraphine too. But COI repeats the same three bans, which I think is solid, especially since their game plan worked out last time. But we'll see how it goes from there. There's the first pick Ari as I expected, so that's probably going to go to Flash of Night and stealing it away from Lord Tubbyton.
Yeah, interested to see what Tubbyton's gonna pick now that the Ari's taken away. He put on quite a show with Ari, and we're gonna see Hecarim from Conflict of Interest. Already kind of going towards my suspicion of another solo queue comp with a Hecarim pick. What do you think about that, Gar?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think Hecarim is really strong this patch, but I think depending on what team setup you have for it, it might be good. They
Your
responded with
match.
the same exact pick of Syndra, so maybe Lord Tubbyton is gonna try to show Flash of Night how it plays, or maybe the Ari is actually just sleeper OP and or not even sleeper OP, just OP, and Syndra can't really do much against it. We'll see from here.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see. It's if he wins lane in the same matchup with the champion swapped, I think Tubbyton's gonna crush Flash of Knight's mental, honestly.
And it looks like the Nautilus gets locked in for shoot, I don't even remember. Azure. Which is really good for pick potential. I think Nautilus is a solid champion, especially when you have something like the Ari to follow up on it. But we'll see where it goes from there. It might look like Dark Juice is picking up Volibear again, which really simple champion, pretty one dimensional. Hopefully, it's able to get the potential that they want, but
Has
uh,
a has a lot better follow up and
I've been told it is a Sejuani pick instead of a Volibear pick, which I think it's still fine, depending on what they
Mhm.
draft top lane. Uh, Maybe like a Renekton or something, or maybe the Mordekaiser again. I think it'll be really solid for the Sejuani autos to go off, but we'll see from here. And it looks like Gamer D actually gets his Bard first time in the season, maybe the
uh,
only time in the season.
and it looks like Feeders Anonymous this time is gonna go with a hard engage comp, and we'll have to see how it goes. But I kind of like the idea of that. They tried to play last comp like an engage comp, but they just didn't have all the muster in them. But now with Ari, Nautilus, and Sejuani, I guess they're kind of hoping that they'll be able to engage on some of those targets on conflict of interest. Interested to see how the Bard goes from Gamer D though.
Yeah, I also do like the Bard pickup. I don't know if it's just because Gamer D wants to play it, which is fair because he loves Bard, but it also provides a lot of self peel or disengaged for conflict of interest, just going off of how much of a go button Feeders Anonymous wants to do with their comp. So maybe I'm hoping to see that Strand probably picks up either like Ash again, or maybe he picks something up like Caitlyn just for something that has long range and is able to poke out from a distance. But it's probably going to be an R4 ADC pick, and Feeders Anonymous are going to have to follow up on top lane and ADC as well, but I don't really have too strong of a draft prediction for it.
I don't really either. I'm very interested to see how they go, but I guess you're right. The Strand does pick up Caitlyn.
Oh, I gotta be a genius or something.
Truly. Perfect prediction. What's this pick gonna be then, Gar?
Kaisa. Or yeah. I don't actually know if I don't know if Kalista really plays Kaisa, but Samira, it's
Samira.
pretty close enough
All
to
right.
Nyla.
Yeah, they're going hard on the engaged comp. 100% tripling, quintupling down on the engaged comp. I absolutely just want Nautilus to land an RRQ, Ahri to land a Charm, and then everybody to follow up and pile on. Interested to see what they're going to pick top to complement this. Maybe like a Malphite to really commit to the bit, but or
If
some other engaged champion
I think I
like
hear an
Zac.
Asperia popping up. Zac.
Oof.
Ooh.
They are going to go in. They are going for blood. They want vengeance after last game.
Now
Interested to see how this aggression goes.
it could also be the Volibear top lane as well. We're not quite sure because Zac did get nerfed pretty hard in laning. So we'll see from here. I don't think Dart Juice is going to play the Zac, but Pantheon is picked up instead.
Pantheon. Don't see very much. I mean, it's gonna be Pantheon top, I would have to imagine, but Pantheon hasn't been picked a lot recently, really anywhere. Um, he's not in the greatest of spots, but I'm interested to see how that presumably Zac matchup is going to go for him.
I
I,
trust that Pyrosis has been watching a lot of Spear Shot.
he must. We'll have to see how it goes. Let's see if he can get that those spear shot style comms in his team's chat. I'm sure they're going to go crazy for that.
Personally, I think Feeders Anonymous is pulling off a very similar GKC comp, but I might be biased towards them winning this game again. But Conflict of Interest has a lot of tools to start and back off from a fight, so it's going to be really difficult for Feeders Anonymous to hopefully get a lead. But at the end of the day, it's really who presses the trigger first between either of them and gets a pick during one of these like really important objective fights. So, do you have any last thoughts, Kat?
Yeah, I agree. Both teams here, it's gonna be just who's gonna pull the trigger and who's gonna execute, because either you pull the trigger, you execute, and you basically ace the other team, or you get ace yourself. It's gonna be interesting to see, especially in this early laning as well, if the aggression is gonna pay off, or if it's gonna end up like last time and the aggression is going to bite them. For if Feeder's anonymous aggression is going to bite them, and conflict of interest is going to be able to punish, but we'll have to see. Very interesting comp. I favor Feeders Anonymous just based off comp, but I did last game as well. So we'll have to see how this game goes.
All right, we'll see you guys in a few minutes as we wait for spectator delay. Welcome back, Summit Esports, to Game 2 between Feeders Anonymous and Conflict of Interest. I'm not going to say the same line again, but yeah, it's Game 2.
We're
How do you
here.
feel? We're here.
Feeling good. I feel like this is gonna be an interesting one. Interested to see how Feeders Anonymous is gonna respond, if they're gonna be able to keep their mental in check. That was kind of a rough game. But they did at least get those shutdowns near the end. Maybe possibly made them feel a little bit better about themselves, but that risky Baron call at the end to lose the game has to kind of weigh on one when they go into the next game, but we'll see. Hopefully they can move on. I have to see how this kind of risky dive engage comp is going to treat them. But I'm interested to see what happens, especially with the mirror matchup mid. Just the inverse of last game. See if Tubbyton can just win on both sides of the matchup. I'm also interested to see like how he's going to play the Syndra. Syndra not going to have near as much mobility to get around the map as Ahri, so going to lose a bit of pressure.
Going off the first item, Tubby started tier, so I don't think he's actually looking to do too many trades with Ahri. At the most, he probably wants to trade just to get the Soul Swords or whatever they're called. Azure is walking straight out from the bush, flashes on top of Strand. He follows up with the hook. Does Strand flash? We're not sure. Callista Yourself is autoing, but I think Strand has just too much movement speed. Callista Yourself is looking for this kill. He's probably going to flash. Strand flashes Gamer Destroyer with the double stun. And I don't think they're going to be able to get the kill. But I'd be happy if Strand backs just because he's going to lose so much early game XP off of that.
And I mean, there we see it, the unrelenting pressure that we can expect from a Nautilus Samira comp. I think it's just going to be a lot of go, go, go the entire game from Feeders Anonymous. It's going to be interesting to see how Strand gets back in the game after such a rough level 1 trade and forced back. Going to miss so much minions, so much XP.
On the bright side, GamerD will get a lot of solo XP, so he'll hit that 6 way faster.
Oh boy.
But yeah, if Strand losing Flash early while Callista Yourself has both against a Nautilus is a little feels bad.
Might end up being a lot feels bad. He did keep the cleanse at least, and GamerD does have the exhaust. So they will have a little bit of mitigation of the threat, but still, no flash into a Nautilus. Have to be very careful about where you position. Keep those bushes warded.
Pyrosis is bullying David. The Elastic Slingshot's in to get a pretty even trade actually, but you know, it's hold Pantheon's like main point, just be as oppressive early as possible. I feel like if he does get a shield vault on top of David, it's gonna look real disastrous. But you know, he's just gonna try to poke as much as possible before going in for the all-in, which might be this. Zac passive is popped. I don't think Pyros is going to be able to kill, but I think he's going to be happy. Oh, wait, Pyros is really low. Elastic Slingshot in. David, he's going to wait out for this Q, and that's a first blood for David. Well played.
Yeah, I think Pyrosis, if he used the Mortal Will W there instead of going for the E you don't gain anything except for movement speed once it finishes. If he used that W with the Ignite, he might have just had enough damage to outright kill David, but he goes for the E to try and avoid some damage, and I think it ended up costing him. And that extra tower shot to greed for blobs, so it's... Oh?
Azure Hex flashes in, catches out Strand. He catches the hook nut trap backwards. Callista Yourself is here to follow up. Sauce comes out, and Callista Yourself gets a solo kill. Not even a solo kill, just a kill on Strand. Meanwhile, Nightmare is top lane, procs the phase rush, and is trying to run down David, but David is not going to go down without a fight. Procs grasp, and I think he's just going to be happy resetting and TPing back. Now, I will say that bot play happened because Gamer Destroyer did roam towards mid lane. Yeah.
It's gonna feel so bad for Strand dealing with Gamer.
Oh, Azure lands the hook. But Callista Yourself actually takes the tower aggro there, which is surprising to me, but it looks like he did get the solo plate gold, so I guess a little damage for extra gold is worth it.
Already gonna be so far ahead on Callista Yourself, and it's gonna be rough for Strand with GamerD trying to roll around the map.
David actually interrupts the shield vault on Pyrosis. Pyrosis gets stunned up. Dark Juice, you just had the auto up once!
Auto's a minion!
Dark
Has
Juice!
Flash as well, just No
Nightmare is here to
fade.
catch this. Dark Juice is running off, but it looks like Hecarim is coming here to catch David, and David goes
Oh my
down. What? This is a disaster.
Criminal play. I do not understand. Dart Juice could have got one more auto off. Definitely would have killed there, but afraid to go in a tower. I guess didn't want to burn flash. Auto the minion instead. And David just goes up to try and get some tower damage or maybe get the kill on Pyrosis. And Nightmare just responds and kills him easily under tower. Tragedy for Feeders Anonymous.
I will give benefit of the doubt. Oh, Azure is getting caught out by Gamer Destroy because of a bar tunnel, but not too much damage thanks to the W. I'm hoping that Darkjuice thought that Shield Vault was up for Pantheon and didn't realize that it got canceled by David earlier, and that's why he backed up. But I feel like even when you're full HP, you don't have to back up from that.
You really don't. I don't know. That's probably what he was thinking, but still not
Lord
sure why he got
Tubbyton.
out of the minion.
Lord Tubby is posturing in a roam, but gets spotted on the control ward. But at the very end, Nightmare does get the triple grubs, while I don't even know where Darkjuice is. So Darkjuice is bot lane right now. He might be looking for a dive angle here. Azure Thean flashes in. Darkjuice responds with a flash to himself, but is unable to get anything. Darkjuice is taken super low, and it's an unfortunate play. It looks like Flash Knight is here to follow up under tower. He does have ulti. David's making a quick trade. Pyros has learned his lesson to wait until Elastic Slingshot comes out, but it doesn't matter because David flashes in. Is he able to get the final W? Yes, he does. Pyrosis goes down, and another kill onto David. Much better game compared to the last one.
Yeah, much better, but then again, it's also a lot easier of a matchup. Twisted Fate is so aggressive.
Hex Flash over and gets the hook behind Strand. But with Gamer Destroyer, he gets the huge Bard ulti.
And you
Strand
were
tries to
right.
follow up with the trap, but is unable to get anything
That
out of it.
early XP on Gamer D actually coming in clutch, the early level 6.
Right? Nightmare's here to catch up David as he gets ulted from Pantheon as well. David has nowhere to go, David has nowhere to go, and Pyrosis finishes him off with an enhanced Q. Lots of plays happening around the map, and it's all going towards conflict of interest's way now.
Is for now, but team-wise, overall, about even gold. Only objective taken so far is the grubs, but they're posturing a little dangerous.
Flash of Night does land the charm, and Lord Tubington responds with the... I don't even freaking know, I'm just gonna say Sphere of Death.
Sphere of Death.
Come on, that's gotta be an ability name at some point. Azure throws in the hook, but whiffs because of the Gamer D Bard of movement speed. Wait, I just realized Bard has Fleet Footwork.
Once that lane sustain, I guess. I don't know. I think that is rather normal on Bard right now. More
David
sticking
actually
power.
rotated mid towards Lord Tubington, but was unable to get the Elastic Slingshot on top of him. Hex Flash getting charged. Hex Flash coming out, catches Strand once again. Strand was forced to flash, but thanks to Gamer D, the stun is huge. Nightmare is running it down with Ghost and E. Ults onto top of Callista yourself. The freaking Sejuani ult stuns
Good
up Nightmare, but it
bola.
doesn't matter because there's so much damage coming out from Nightmare. And Callista yourself goes down. Does Dart Juice stun up Gamer Destroyer? Yes, he does. Is he able to get the kill? No, because of the Bard ultimate.
Oh
He has no
my.
mana.
You know what?
Gamer Destroyer walks out. You know, Fleet
stand
Footwork's
corrected.
OP.
The early level 6 from Gamer Destroyer, that solo XP in the early game while Strand wasn't there, actually putting some work.
It looks like they're trying to dive Strand now because Dart Juice. Oh, he Arctic Assaults into the bush. What are you doing, buddy? Lord Flash of Night, Spirit rushes in, catches the Nightmare, but it doesn't matter because they don't have a lot of damage on their side. And oh no, it looks like Lord Tubington is actually coming in from behind. Flash Knight does catch out Strand, but it doesn't matter because Lord Tubington is behind. He ults on top of the Sejuani, but thanks to Aftershock, he's just too tanky. They catch out Lord Tubington. Lord Tubington does return with a Dark Juice kill. Flashes over the wall, but Flash Knight follows right after. Oh no, he misses the charm! But it doesn't matter, Electrocute procs, and Flash of Night gets his return kill onto Lord Tubington.
Now it looks the other way. Conflict of interest and Pyros is gonna fall as well. It looks the inverse of last game. Tier 1, Tier 2 fight in bot lane, except this time it's actually
worked
gonna
out.
work. The
Yeah.
Feeders Anonymous. Or Feeders Anonymous.
Maybe blue side's just OP. I don't know.
Maybe they just have a better comp for it. That kill comp is kind of working out for him. This early aggression actually starting to pay off. And we'll have to see what they're going to do with this lead. It shouldn't be too difficult to push this lead with an engaged comp.
The Malignance is online for Ahri right now, so it's going to be a lot easier for her to start making plays around the map. We do see return Merc Treads on Lord Tubbyton right now, which I think is really smart, especially into, 4 CC bots on their team. Azure's posturing towards mid lane. Hex flashes. Does he land the hook? I think so, because the minimap says they're on top of each other. But the camera's on top of David. David's taking this trade. Gamer Destroyer misses the ultimate, but I think that's fine, just because they wanted to dissuade. There's a lot of fights going around the map between top and mid lane. It looks like Nightmare was ready to catch out David if he continued to fight top lane, but, David wasn't doing anything. And Lord Tubbyton is, sucking his tummy in, saying he was skinny, so...
Yeah, Zor, he's been putting on some work with these Nautilus Qs and these Hex Flashes. So much pressure coming down. And it looks like they might be setting up for a dive here. No Bar doesn't have ult, but I think they're going to fall away from it.
Dark Juice did show bot, but it doesn't look like they're really posturing for a fight. And as you see on the minimap, Nightmare is actually taking all of Dark Juice's top side right now. And with the lack of vision that David has right now, I wouldn't be surprised to see Nightmare actually just gank, especially since the Elastic Slingshot is down. Yeah, looks like Nightmare's ready to gank top. No, he's actually backing off. Dark Juice does show mid, which means Nightmare has a free blue buff to look for. Zac isn't on the map though, but I think he gets spotted by the Scuttler. So Nightmare might be in a really sticky situation right now. He's in between Zac and Sejuani. Dark Juice does see. Does he get the smite? No, he doesn't. Nightmare gets it first. And he gets out with the last plant. Unless Lord Flash of Night actually catches the charm. He's forced to ult out. Spirit Rush follows afterwards, but I don't think they're able to get the range. Meanwhile, bot lane, Azure gets the hook. Ults on top of Caitlyn to stall Strand. And unfortunately, Kalista herself isn't able to get the kill with the R. David showing up mid lane with the Elastic Slingshot. Ults on top of Lord Tubbyton. I don't think Tubbyton has any man. The Dark Juice ultimate sniping toward Tubbyton for the kill.
Bola snipe from Raptor Pit to steal the kill. A little bit crazy, but I mean, end of comment. Little bit crazy. Just fights all over the map, non-stop. Constant,
nah, bro.
No
Dark Juice, you're crazy. Azure takes another hook on the Gamer Destroyer. Gamer Destroyer goes out. And Sejuani is unable to smite the red buff in time. David is going in. He catches Strand. Is he able to kill David? No, because his focus gets controlled. Wait. Oh, the Bard ult just lasts a little too long. Azure's looking to possibly get another cheeky hook on top of Lord Tubbyton, but no fights happening. He does get stunned. But thanks to the Solstice Slay, nothing's really going to happen off the... Wait, no, that's not Solstice Slay. What is that item called? The support item.
Locket of the Iron Solar?
No, not that one. The upgradable one.
Oh, Celestial Opposition.
Okay, that's what it's called. Yeah, that damage reduction is crazy.
Yeah.
Because what, they took Crown Guard's old passive and put it on top of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And just, finally we get a little break from the violence. It feels like almost 5 minutes of just straight fighting, and in the end, dust settles, we get a little bit of a break, and Feeders Anonymous looking pretty good. Little bit rougher Dark Juice. Kind of behind 50 CS here. Feels a little bit bad, but that's what happens when you're fighting a bot side 24/7. Nightmare just gets to clear your top side. Goes for a risky invade red, doesn't get it either.
It looks like they might look towards mid lane, but they're splitting the map with Conflict of Interest playing bot side while Feeders Anonymous are top side. Azure's looking for a hook. doesn't get anyone successfully. David jumping in under tower. You're crazy. Nightmare's coming in behind. He's on top of Callista yourself. David is on top of tower. They're able to kill Pyrosis. TP comes out from Lord Tubbyton, and they're able to get a double kill on top of the Game Destroyer. Sack passive goes down. They should be able to get a free kill on the blobs. We'll see from here. And Lord Tubbyton does pick up the kill on top of David. And that's a 1-for-2 trade for Feeders Anonymous.
What an insane engage from David, and I mean that in both ways. He gets away with the 2-for-1, but a completely under tower team fight almost, and it still comes up better for Feeders Anonymous. That is this is a game.
Dude,
this is a game.
Is so much better than game 1.
Just
no bias here, obviously.
Pedal to the metal the entire time. Feeders Anonymous just laying on the gas. A conflict of interest under their own tower, even they're not safe from the Zac jump, not safe from the Nautilus Q. They just do not care.
Dude, I thought David was like low-key kind of griefing with that tower play, but it worked out because of how tanky he is currently. He's just stacking armor and tower's not going to do much. Dart Juice does get stunned up by Gamer Destroyer, but I don't think there's a play to be made here. Nightmare could go around through the river, but we're not sure. Azure getting an angle. Azure gonna get caught out by Pyrosis. Never mind, Callista yourself's gonna get out by Pyrosis, and it's just a free kill on top of for Pyrosis. Dart Juice, meanwhile, is getting stuck on top of all 5. Arctic Assault's over the wall, and it's the conflict of interests turn to take a dragon. They might try to go for the steal. Flash Knight is posturing for it. He's unable to do it thanks to Nightmare Smite. But in return, David does get a turret top lane.
Yeah, now conflict of interest. Pulling the trigger. Pyrosis gets a good pick for it. Gets the dragon. It's a good trade for them, but David does get the tower top. And...
Oh, Azure, you just mistook, but it's okay because he all comes out. Flash of Night. No, he was charmed.
Right! Flash of Night!
Oh, the nullifying cloak goes so crazy. The magic damage is being reduced. He dodges the orb. Azure follows up with the hook. Tubbyton's so low. David picks up the kill with the elastic slingshot, but that's so much time stalled for Lord Tubbyton. Pyrosis is doing his best to try to clear top wave as much as possible, but unfortunately, I don't think they're able to make too much of an effort afterwards.
Flash of Night giving me a heart attack and missing the charm on the rooted target. And then enough time for Tubbyton to get Scatter the Weak up again. Almost escaped there if it wasn't for David coming in, flying in, getting the kill. Wow, just non-stop. And another fight gonna break out here.
Dart Juice, Arctic Assault's over the walls, trying to stun up Pyrosis as much as he can. David is here to catch it. Uses his Q to stun him up. Dart Juice is able to just stick on top of Pyrosis. The Pyrosis is stunned up by Sejuani Bola, gets the kill for David. Callista yourself is forced to back off from mid lane though because there's 2v1 right now. Strana has the range advantage, but I think Callista yourself is able to just play it out safely. Oh, it looks like Flash Knight actually teleported. Azure picks up Strand. Flash Knight gets a killing spree on top of Kaylin. She's following on top of Gamer Destroyer. I don't think Charm is up yet. Oh, he gets Charm on top of the tower, but Nightmare's here to catch it. Gamer Destroyer ults. Oh my god, he gets Nautilus and the Ahri, but it's not enough. David is trying to go in and catch Gamer Destroyer as much as possible. He's chasing with the elastic slingshot, but now he's stuck on top of 3 people. Lord Tubbyton is fighting on top. Nightmare, he's super low, but it doesn't matter. David gets killed by Syndra. Shut down on top of Syndra. Callista yourself goes in. That's crazy. Thank god Azure's here to follow up. Callista yourself gets a reset. Is he going in? No, because Nightmare cancels out the Samira E, and that's a kill for Gamer Destroyer.
Insane. More than a kill, more than a death a minute here. Just non-stop action in this game too. And wow, I mean, so far in from David, and it doesn't end up working. They go 1 for 2, but the fact that he even got that close is a little crazy. Just taking every fight they can, and I mean, although that play didn't work, in the grand scheme of things, they end up with another objective, and
oh no!
it goes down 9:55. They just not watching the timer. Not enough DPS. and Rip Herald becomes Baron Nashor. They just waste all their
Dude.
time.
That's so unlucky. Flash and Knight's in a really bad position right now, but you know, Spirit Rush is so strong that he's able to get out. David, meanwhile, is getting stuck in between Pyrosis and Nightmare. He ults out to try to dissuade them from chasing. I think they actually are just going to take that bait and run back.
What a game. What a game, truly. Just I don't even know where to begin. This is one of the games of all time. This is just well, I guess we are seeing one thing though. It does look like Ari just OP.
So true.
Flash and Knight 3-0-4. No Dark Seal though. No Magi Soul Sealer. But you know.
Come on, guys. Dark Seal. It's 350 gold. It's cheaper than an Amp Tome. You can sell it whenever you want. It's free. I don't know why people aren't taking it when they're getting these leads, but that's
Will
just
he
me.
commit? I don't know. It would make sense in a game of just pure aggression like this. But
I see mid too easy in the chat. Tell me why you don't buy Dark Seal here. Oh, Glister yourself. Spots out Gamer Destroyer on top of the ward. David tries to get it with the Elastic Slingshot, but he's able to portal out safely. It looks like they're just huddling towards their mid tier 2 right now. They're probably trying to group up for this Drake that's winning. But as you can see right now, Feeders Anonymous is looking for this kill bush right here inside their blue buff. Flash Knight is by himself in this control warded bush. He gets spotted out by their controller. He gets stunned by Syndra, but I don't think it's a kill. That might be a kill. David is unable to block it, but they're probably going to try to trade on top of Lord Tubington. Pyrosis on top of Calista yourself, but Calista yourself is too strong. He just gets the exhaust, hopefully get the ult. And that's just another kill on top of Pyrosis. David gets the long range stun on top of Strand and Game Destroyer. Dart Juice flashes in to try to get the count, but Nightmare goes in behind, gets on top of Calista yourself. Azure's here to help him out. Calista yourself does dash over the wall. It should be out safe, but there's too much damage. Lord Tubington and Strand are both alive, and there's no one to be able to catch up. There's 2 kills on top. Glitz yourself does get the return kill, goes in, gets on top of Caitlyn. Tubington, you just got stunned, but it doesn't matter because Calista has the win wall. It's a 3v4, 3-for-2 trade for Feeders Anonymous's advantage. And it looks like Azure's ready to back, but I feel like they should be doing Dragon. David's elastic slingshots out to prevent himself from getting caught from Gamer Destroyer. And I guess they're taking the resets.
What a crazy fight. A little bit of an anti-synergy there on the side of Feeders Anonymous. Azure's Q moving the target out of the way of Dark Juice's Bola, making it completely airmail. Pyro coming in now. Another fight under tower.
Gamer Destroyer is doing a lot of moves. He does get catches out Calista. And it looks like David and Flash and Knight are fighting for their lives. Lord Tubington gets charmed up. David is on top of Lord Tubington. Azure lands a hook on top of Tubington. He gets stunned up. It's so much CC. Is he able to catch the kill on Lord Tubington? Yes, he does. David, last shots in. It looks like they're ready for a catch on top of Pyrosis. Dark Juice ults on top of Nightmare to prevent him from going in. They do get CC on top of Pyrosis, but it doesn't matter. David goes in, lands on top of Strand. Azure lands a hook on Pyrosis. Another kill on top of Dark Juice. Nightmare's in the middle of all of them, but he's healing. Dark Juice does pick up the kill. On top of Hecarim, does a double for Dark Juice, and it's supportal combat from here on out.
Yeah, 2 for 3. Good trade for Feeders Anonymous. 3 tanks taking a fight against basically the entire team of Conflict of Interest and winning anyway. What a crazy fight. I did not think Feeders Anonymous was gonna have the damage to get that kill. But I guess just that damage on Sejuani applying the passive and the burn from the microwave from Sunfire, gonna be enough to get the kill on Pyrosis. Or sorry,
Well, maybe the first kill stolen by that Bola snipe was worth it.
Maybe. Maybe that was it. Maybe Dark Juice saw this far ahead. Maybe he did.
Dude, the plays are coming.
He saw beyond the code.
Right now, Conflict of Interest is under a 3.5k gold lead, but
And that's
we've seen teams beat up before and still come back despite such a goal disadvantage.
And I believe that was Transcendence I just saw proc on Lord Tubbyton, 120 stacks. That's going to be 15% bonus AP. A big spike for Tubbyton here. However, he's not going Rabadons. Most Syndra players will go Rabadon second or third to capitalize off that.
Flash of Night tries to Spirit Rush out, but does get Flash ulted, or Shield vaulted on top of Pyrosis. Gamer D tries to catch him out, but thanks to the Foxfire, Flash of Night was able to run safely out of the ultimate. Looks like they might try to make a play mid.
So close to Flash of Night getting caught out there. In fact, he didn't, maybe already...
Oh, Azure with the X Flash back in to try to bait him out. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, you're fine. I can't blame you. It just constant interrupts this game. Just nothing but chaos. Nightmare gonna steal the blue away from Dart Juice.
Hey, production team, can we check and see if Nightmare's scripting with these smites? Meanwhile, David is on top of Strand right now. They burned so many ultimates on top of Strand to get him killed. Glitz yourself does get the kill out of all of that, but Conflict of Interest may try to look for a fight since there's so many ults being burned there as they try to posture towards Baron. But it looks like Nightmare is going to be farming this blue, probably just trying to give it to his team before this fight. But I don't know, they're getting mid priority right now. Do they opt towards pushing mid tier 2, or do they try to contest Baron?
Surely they know. I don't think it's a case of them not knowing, but
it's probably just a safe. It's a safer.
It's just a safer call. Although they do have to get out of here. Elastic Slingshot. Elastic Slingshot will have enough CC to tie them down if they don't quickly. Gonna go for it.
David does see them, but they're not able to follow up yet. Will David actually slingshot on top of this? Oh my god, you're crazy!
Scatter keeps him on the left side, not into pit.
David is going in. He's trying to catch Pyrosis. Pyrosis shield faults and does a bunch of damage on top of David. David forces an ultimate out. He's healing up as much as possible. Glitz yourself is ready to follow up on all of the CC. Meanwhile, Flash of Night is getting stunned up by Lord Tubbyton. Lord Tubbyton does get the kill on top of Flash of Night, but Glitz also returns the kill on top of Pyrosis. David is going in on top of Gamer Destroyer. Glitz yourself flashes over, gets in massive damage on top of Caitlyn and Gamer Destroyer, and picks up 2 kills out of it, even after the Scatter of the Week canceled her ultimate. Dark Juice is diving on top with David. There's nowhere for Tubbyton to move. Oh, the Bola misses, but it doesn't matter because Glitz yourself is right there. Never mind, he's so slow. David is looking to follow up, but Lord Tubbyton is safe under his Nexus towers.
And a crazy fight all the way from blue side T2, chasing Syndra, chasing Tubby, all the way back to red side Nexus. Nightmare's gonna go back in here.
Nightmare, I know it's really low, but it's crazy. Glitz yourself is super low, gets killed off by Hecarim. Nautilus uses ult to try to stall. David does get his E canceled as he looks to try to stun up Nightmare and Pyrosis, and does get a return kill on top of it. The blobs come out just in time. Spirit Rush kills Pyrosis. And Zac is going to be at half HP. Lord Tubbyton misses the scatter, but she still has Banshees. It's going to pop. Q comes out, but it misses because of Nautilus, but it doesn't matter because there's so much CC coming out. Nautilus tries to flash on top of Strand, but it gets killed in return. David is so low. And Conflict of Interest is able to return 3 kills on top of their 2 frontline.
Where do I even start? Just crazy fights. Nightmare engaging there. Sees Kallista's low, gets the good pick on her, but it's just so hard to cut through David. He's so tanky. Azure as well. It's just insane fights over and over again. And yet again, another one coming up. Feeder's Anonymous. They might have went down a little bit, but it's hard to even tell who is winning and who is losing in these fights. We just have to look 5 minutes after the fight happens when the smoke finally clears and see that Feeder's Anonymous up 4k gold here. And up a Baron. It looks like Conflict of Interest. Gonna go for a bit of vision control in blue side, blue side. But they Nightmare might get engaged on here. Oh.
They are taking a bunch of red side camps, while Dark Juice is on top of Dragon right now. I don't even know if Dragon's spawned right now. It is spawned, so they're probably going to go for their third Ocean Soul, but they're losing top tier 2 for it. Conflict of Interest is just starting to walk together pretty well. And this fight comes out. Pyrosis does kill out Callista Yourself. Their main damage is gone. Lord Flash of Night also goes down because of Lord Tubbyton. David's here in the backline. He's able to finish off both Gamer Destroyer, but not Pyrosis because Pyrosis flashes out. So much CC's coming out, but there's not enough follow-up because they don't have enough damage. And David is taken down because of how much damage there is. Wait, never mind the plops. He goes down. Lord Tubbyton's on a rampage. Azure's doing his best to try to run away, but there's too much range for him to run away from, and that's a ace going over to Conflict of Interest.
Ace, the Goon Squad strategy, Conflict of Interest, knowing they pick his 5, Callista a bit too far in mid lane, getting spotted out, her team can't rotate over to in time, and she falls by herself. I'm interested to see, will Conflict of Interest try and end here? It looks like they're going
might be
to.
Able to.
They
Bless
may
Yourself
be able
is
to.
out in 3 seconds, though. Flash of Night's
Pyrosis gonna get executed to tower!
Oh no, this is bad. They will take their lead by destroying both Nexus Tower, or was it one Nexus Tower? I didn't say.
One Nexus Tower and the inhibitor. Still, the Super Minion's gonna spawn, put some pressure on Feeders Anonymous. Gonna make it a little harder for them to fight as 5, which they really want to do in this comp.
Oh man, it's going back and forth a lot more than I thought. Flash of Night
Not
tries to
even
get Lord
ending.
Tummy's in, but Banshees is too strong, and Nightmare picks up the kill on Flash of Night.
Just too
Really?
aggressive. Have to respect the Banshees and have to respect that Tubbyton is back in this game. Syndra now quite a scaling champion, and that upgraded Scatter of the Weak clipped her on the side and stunned her out. It just makes her an easy pickup. With respawn timers this late, this aggression might get punished. One bad play from either team, and the game could end. Especially for Feeders Anonymous, they gotta be careful where they engage now.
Yeah, this is game 2, and they are down the game, so one mistake could cost them their first series of the season.
Yeah, and the gold lead that Feeders Anonymous have, they still have the kill lead, they even have the dragon lead, but they're burning so many towers that it's almost completely even gold-wise. Massive comeback from Conflict of Interest. But
Now, their top laner and ADC for Feeders Anonymous do have an whole item advantage on top of them, so as long as Callista Yourself doesn't get caught here, we should be good. And speaking of which, David catches out Strand and Game Destroyer. Both are forced to flash. There's so much going on. Callista Yourself flashes over to try to kill over Strand, but is unable to actually get the kill, and he's taken out low. Nightmare is running around from the corner. It's getting on top of Callista Yourself. Does Callista Yourself go down? No, the shield bow is too strong. Gets a shutdown on top of Nightmare. David is freaking 1v5 in the backline right now, and it's 2 kills for nothing for Feeders Anonymous as they look over to kill this Baron.
And the exact opposite thing, the Goon Squad strategy, they played as 5, Conflict of Interest wasn't 5, they weren't close enough, took a little too long on the rotate to help save their teammates, and 2 of them get picked off. Baron's gonna fall, and now the ball is back in Feeders Anonymous' court.
There's so much back and forth going on with these teams. It's really whoever's pulling this trigger first is winning.
It's just one volley after another. Teams aren't playing close enough together, and they keep just getting picked off one by one, and then a full team fight follows where the team that gets picked off is just playing 5 versus 4, and they keep losing doing it, and it keeps happening. Will it happen again here?
Azure and David are looking towards bot lane, but they don't really have any damage threats. Gamer Destroyer with the ultimate stalling both of them, as Red Team is able to just run away. But it doesn't matter because David is pulling the trigger over and over again, trying to get these catches.
David just absolutely no restraint. Anytime he sees an enemy on his screen or slightly off his screen, that elastic slingshot is gonna come out.
I think he's trying to get his action in from mid-game. Flash of Night gets into a really bad position, gets caught by everyone on their team. David's doing his best to try to catch up. The Nautilus ult knocks up 4 people. The Bullet Strike also comes out. Callista Yourself is getting a reset. Callista gets his ultimate reset, but it doesn't matter because it gets canceled by Scatter of the Weak. Azure gets on top of Lord Tubbyton. Strand is getting stuck between David and Azure. Is he able to get out? Yes, he is. No, the red buff burn kills him. David is
Leandri's
ready for the
burn.
elastic shot, but is not gonna go for tier 3 tower dive
David
once
on the
again.
Leandri Zac, getting some value with the red buff, burning Strand down, and we see another instance of the one team gets picked off and then they take the 4v5, except this time the 4 wins versus the 5. Nothing can be predicted in this match except for violence. Midwave gonna get pushed in with the supers, but they're gonna take this dragon. They're just gonna take it very slowly without Kalista. But Flash
I mean,
of
they
Night's
do
gonna be able to
have
respond.
Sejuani proccing E over and over again, so it's a little bit faster since she has both melees on her. But
True. And
that
Ocean
is
Soul.
a full. Yeah, that is Ocean Soul for. No, David, please.
Damn!
Oh my. The Sky of the Weak pushes him, but it's not enough. So Arctic Assault Flash misses because he canceled it too early, but it doesn't matter. Elastic Slingshot and the hook goes in. Lord Chubbyton is stuck between 3 huge people, and Shutdown goes over to Azure.
One Syndra, 3 huge meatballs, and there's nothing she can do to tear through their HP pools. David, no restraint on the Elastic Slingshot. Another
Oh
enemy
my
on his
god!
He goes in again!
Wait, the bullet hits Strand. Strand gets hit by the hook. Doesn't matter though because she cleanses. Gamer Destroyer is hitting a huge ult. Meanwhile, Pantheon's going in. Glitch yourself is getting caught. There's no one to be able to heal him. Free kill for Nightmare. Will they follow up on Flash and Ice? She's getting Caitlyn ulted. But they catch Strand instead because she's stuck in that old animation. Gamer Destroyer is trying to do his best to stall Flash and Night, but it doesn't matter because their 2 carries are down for the count.
Was this game scripted? Is
Possibly.
what I have to keep thinking to myself as the craziest M. Night Shyamalan, and he goes in to get Pyro on his screen.
Dude. Stop going in, David. You're so crazy. Dart Juice is at the end of the portal, ready to catch him out, but gets shield vaulted, is unable to follow up on the Pyrosis stun. I had some funny voices in my head saying that mod team is
Yeah.
corroborating with
Looks like
sports betting
it
online.
is a little bit of a scripted match here. Allegedly, a little birdie has told us that
Does Flash of Night get caught here? No, he doesn't.
just David cannot restrain himself, and it's working. It's paying dividends. No restraint. Maybe he'll bust, but maybe he'll take it all, and he's just been taking it all. Crazy plays from David. Elastic slingshot at anyone in a 10-mile radius. And it's hard to punish, but Kalista keeps getting caught out on the sidelines when David is he's on a different screen from his ADC, does not care, trying to fight the rest of the team, as Nightmare just keeps going on the backline and killing Kalista. And I think if Nightmare doesn't keeping that up, then it could just end immediately for conflict of interest, because Nightmare's actually been putting in great work just keeping Kalista out of these fights.
Right.
Oh boy. Another engage. David sees a target.
Scatter of the Weak has been burned. David goes in on top of Nightmare. The Banshees is procced on Lord Typington. There's no way for him to CC. Gamer Destroyer ults Kalista yourself by herself. She does have the GA pickup, which is going to be really helpful for these fights. But that's a lot of ultimates being burned. Strand ulting the Flash of Night for a third of his HP, maybe a fourth. But they have triple Ocean Drakes plus Ocean Souls. She is going to heal that up just fine. David is looking at top of Lord Tubbington. She doesn't have Banshees. He tries to read the flash, but there was no flash to even read. Lord Tubbington is stuck in between all the Pyrosis ults behind the backline, but it doesn't matter. Kalista herself is in the backline of their team. Where is the front line? They're dead. Nightmare is going down. Pyrosis is going down. Everyone is going down. Is this a possible Game 3 angle for the first of the season?
Constant split fights, and it's just gonna keep working out. That Ocean Soul may not have to keep them healthy. David's
going in! He gets the stun on top of Strand. Does Arctic Soul come out? Yes, but Strand flashes it anyways. Azure tries to go for the hook, but whiffs. Kalista yourself is just doing so much damage to Strand anyways. David goes in!
Under 2 Nexus
You crazy bastard! Azure lands the hook on top of Gamer Destroyer. Kalista yourself is here to follow up. Dart Juice gets stunned on top of Kalista yourself as well. Gamer Destroyer is smurfing these Qs. Triple ults to Peter's Anonymous. Azure flashes, lands the hook. Kalista's here to follow up anyways, and Gamer Destroyer goes down.
Absolute insanity! And it
Is
looks
that-
like we're gonna go to a game 3 off the back of some insane fights.
Wait, Nightmare
But it's not
clutches, Nightmare
over.
clutches. Never mind, Nightmare goes down. Glister yourself is on a rampage right now. Gets the ult on top of Tubbyton as well. Gets a double kill. Could look for the Pyrosis triple kill. As you're hooking, he's trying to get a solo kill. Honestly, he could have gotten that solo kill anyways, but
Almost
Glister
one
yourself.
more twist in this roller coaster of a match, but it's finally gonna end. Feeders Anonymous taking out Conflict of Interest. Series score of 1-1. We're gonna go to game 3. Alright,
Let's
anything you have
go,
to say?
baby. Game 3, first of the
Scripted
season.
match.
I'll let someone else went to a 3-game series. I haven't been able to tell, honestly.
I don't think so. I think this is gonna be the first one and the only one of this weekend.
Let's
as
go,
far
baby.
as I'm aware. Get a third game. I don't know how it's gonna top this one, but we'll have to see.
All right, Summoners, we'll see you in for Game 3 draft as we go to a quick break.
Hello and welcome back to Game 3 of Conflict of Interest versus Feeders Anonymous. First game, I believe, Summit Season 4 to go. First series, sorry, of Summit Season 4 to go to a Game 3. Going to be very interesting. Game 1, we saw Conflict of Interest just kind of run away with it. A lot of heavy rotating, Ahri mid, TF top. Heavy rotations, kind of a solo queue comp. And then Game 2, we see Feeders Anonymous respond with just a complete engage comp. Samira, Zac, Nautilus, and David top lane on Zac, just non-stop going for kill after kill after kill. And after a bloody exchange, they finally come out on top. So I'm really interested to see what they'll do here. I'm interested to see how Conflict of Interest will respond. I'm interested to see if Haters Anonymous will try the same strategy again. Just engage, team fight, 5v5 comp, something like a Samira, something like a Nyla, and just see what's in store, because it's going to be hard to top a game 2 like that. Kalista ban already, Conflict of Interest. Always going to happen. Kalista yourself, never getting his champion. But besides that, I'm just so interested to see how this draft is going to turn out. Karthus ban, Amumu ban, similar bans to game 1 and 2. Conflict of Interest not really banning out anything that Features Anonymous played game 2. I believe there was an Amumu ban game 2, so I think this is a repeat. Even if it's not, I would kind of be scared that gonna ban out David Zac. I cannot blame them. He was just going in after in after in last match. Kind of carried it a little bit. Heavy engages, and Feeders Anonymous gonna ban out Ahri. Ahri won both games. Conflict of Interest had it game 1, won on it. Feeders Anonymous game 2, won on it. This game, no one's gonna have it. Have to see how that's gonna turn out. Conflict of Interest. Drafting Viego as the round 1 blind pick. Little bit interesting, but I have to see how Feeders Anonymous is gonna respond. Really interested in these first 2 picks. Gonna see if they're gonna go for another engage comp like last time, even without the Zac, even without the Ahri, and we already see the Sejuani coming out. Now, Sejuani, it's been so strong recently. Never mind the Nautilus coming out. We might have the same thing again. Yep, Nautilus Sejuani. Just from the looks of it, with those 2 picks alone, we could be in for another bloody showdown. Already setting up for these big engaged plays, Nautilus and Sejuani, kind of just a declaration that, hey, we saw last game. It's how we won last game. We just went in, engaged on you, and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to put constant pressure down with those boltas, with those depth charges. Conflict of Interest pulling out Swain and Jinx. Very interesting. I don't know the players super well. I'm not sure if that's going to be a Swain support or Swain mid. But it will be interesting to see either way. Jinx too. Jinx is going to be a little vulnerable to this engage comp, but we had a lot of long extended tanking meatball fest game 2, and if we start seeing like that again, Jinx can really come online, shredding through those tanks, getting 1 kill, getting excited. I don't hate the pickup. Ornn top from Features Anonymous. It's not going to be as good as Zac as starting fights, but that Ornn R and the knockup, a lot of chain CC possible. And I believe I'm joined again by Gargoomba, who has returned from a short break.
I have returned from a short break.
What do you think of this draft so far?
What the hell is this Swain pick?
I didn't want to comment on it, but the Swain Jinx, little interesting. Like the Jinx more than the Swain, but do you think it's going to be a Swain mid or a Swain support?
I'm gonna be real. It's probably gonna be a Swain support. I think it's a little greedy to pick Swain mid currently, just because there's a lot of other strong mid laners able to be picked up. So we'll see where it goes from there. I do know Flash Knight's probably not going to be able to play anything too aggressive into the Swain, so he's probably going to opt towards something more scaly, kind of like a Syndra again, or maybe the no Ari's banned. So he might pick up Syndra. Maybe he picks up his good old Azir, but we'll see from there. I do see that Ornn was picked up because of the Zac ban that they chose instead, which David's very comfortable in Ornn, and I think it's a really solid team fight starter, especially looking at the rest of their comp again, with the Nautilus and Sejuani making a return. So
yeah, basically all of what I just said as well. I'm excited to see what they're going to pick for their damage dealers here, though. Nyla, just like what I thought, there's no Samira, so they're going to go again, just declare, we want a 5v5, we want a 5v5, and just go again, heavy engaged comp. Excited to see the mid pick here, how they're going to follow it up. They don't have Ahri, Syndra's not as good at following up these 5v5 engage comps as Ari is, so a little interested to see if they're going to change it up. Flash of Night, is Flash of Night the one that plays Azir?
Yes.
It could be a really good pick here. They need AP damage. He has great follow-up onto an engage. Lissandra, it's kind of going to look for Peel here. I mean,
Now,
Lissandra could engage, but it would be kind of crazy to engage on this comp from Conflict of Interest.
now this could be a Lissandra support since there has been a good chunk of it being picked up in Korean pro play all of a sudden, which personally I'm an advocate for. I think Lissandra's support was always good, but just the recent buffs have made it a lot more playable. But we do have the Camille being picked up against the Ornn, which is pretty miserable as the Ornn player.
Mm-hmm.
It's looking like Flash Knight's either opting towards a Silas pick or a Vex pick. Which I think Silas is pretty good here, especially being able to take Swain and Lissandra. However, I've also been told that
Ori.
picking Silas into Swain is a bit of a bait, but it looks like they choose the Orianna instead to hopefully get the Orianna's Sejuani combo going, or maybe the Orianna's Nyla combo.
I think the idea here is to get the command shockwave with the apotheosis. I think that's the idea here, or the other way around. Either way, a bit of a wombo combo, kind of a wombo combo and an engaged comp in one. Conflict of Interest's team, they're a little bit disorganized. I don't know if it's going to respond to this. Again, I think Feeders Anonymous has a much nicer draft. The Swain's a little crazy. I don't know if the Lissandra's going to have enough peel. Camille has very minimal peel. Viego doesn't have much peel. It's going to be very interesting to see how Conflict of Interest plays this. What do you think, Gar?
Oh, Conflict of Interest definitely wants to try to go for these AoE magic damage to take out their front line because I'm sure that Swain and Lissandra are probably going to go some mix of Blackfire Torch and or Liandry's, so it should be able to help deal with the tanks. But I kind of don't really see where the Viego is supposed to go, especially for first pick. I think it's a pretty greedy draft to pick up Viego without figuring out what the rest of your team wants. It does have the follow-up provided by Lissandra and Camille to actually be able to pop off, but I feel like it's just conflicts of interest as comp requires a lot more coordination to actually pull off against Feeder Anonymous, when Feeder Anonymous can literally just rely on either Nautilus Hook or Ornn Ultimate to make the play start, and they have so much to follow up with it afterwards.
Yeah, they have three massive playmaking champs on the sides of Feeders Anonymous. It's gonna be really interesting to see. They can kind of just roll their face against the keyboard once they get a good engage, but Conflict of Interest had to play super tactically, and if they don't get an early kill to start off these team fights, I don't see any way they're gonna win this. This Jinx needs to get excited. Viego needs to get his resets. But any final thoughts, Garb, before we go to a break?
Nope, I've pretty much said my thoughts for this, but hopefully the game 3 is also a banger.
We'll have to see. More engage, more bloodbath. I think we're going to go to a little break here as we get ready for Game 3, Conflict of Interest versus Feeders Anonymous. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Summit Season 4, Game 3. 1-1 Conflict of Interest versus Feeders Anonymous. I, Kat, the newcomer, with Gargoomba here on the cast. Say hello.
I'm dying.
He's dying after Game 2. Hectic Game 2. Really interested to see how this match is going to follow it up. And already, it looks like they might be going for an invade on the side of Conflict of Interest.
You know, usually you
Or
see
just
this in
stacking.
pro play where they go into the bot push to try to prevent the counter invade from lane, but I think with how safe Feeders Anonymous wants to play with the 5-stack right now, there's not really much that can be had here. I do like that GamerD and Strand are starting the posture here though, because you want to try to get Nyla as low as possible because she doesn't have the range to support it. So just seeing them stack up in this bush means a lot of free poke, and with that free poke should be a low Callista yourself. The Swainy does go in, but Azure follows up with a hook. Nyla Qs, but doesn't hit. It looks like an even trade. It's like an even trade. Azure's playing this bush to his best of his ability.
As even as it's going to get, and considering the pressure that's going to be exerted here, these two ranged into two melees, I don't really want to trade any health if I'm on the side of Feeders Anonymous' bot lane. But already a lot of heavy trading mid. Lissandra getting some damage down on to Flash of Night.
Now we do see that both teams' junglers have opted to do their red side clears first. So Nightmare is looking to play towards his top side this game, especially since Pyros is playing a carry champion. And he probably thinks that his Jinx and Swain bot lane are going to be safe enough where he doesn't have to worry about them early on. He could be playing for a cheeky mid gank, but since Lissandra's better for ganking at level 6, he'll probably just wait off on that for now. Darkjuice, however, is probably just clearing top because he wants to get an early lead for this Nyla so that she can get out of this lane. Flash of Night might be getting caught. Dodges the W. Doesn't matter. Lord Tubbyton doesn't have the range to follow up, even though Flash of Night is poked out. He does have the biscuits to heal up. So
I think just a little bit of miscommunication on the level timer there, because Tubbyton was 1 minion off level 3 and just doesn't get it all the way. David heavy trading on Pyrosis here. But overall, the Camille's passive just going to tank a lot of that damage. And I think David, again, third matchup he should be losing in the early game. But every time he's come alright out of lane. Except for when that Twisted Fate got a lot of kills game 1. Pyrosis just going to get the wave in.
Lissandra's looking to make a big trade onto Flash of Night.
Yeah, just the level lead.
The Electrocute does proc, but since Lord Tubbyton has a lot of mana and Orianna doesn't, it's probably going to be a really dangerous situation for her to stay in. Nightmare is looking at the angle. He's probably going to Flash W this. Actually pulls it off. Does he have the damage to follow up? Yes, he does. The Flash Root from Lissandra comes out, and Lord Tubbyton gets the first kill for COI.
And it's kind of it's not one of Ori's best matchups because of how easy that training pattern is for Tubbyton. The second Flash of Night uses Q. Tubbyton can go in with the E, auto WQ, and get a good trade, but it looks like Azure gonna Hex Flash forward, landing Q onto Gamer D. Callista yourself's gonna go forward too, but Darkjuice right in the area, and Feeders Anonymous gonna back off from the trade.
Darkjuice is ready to punish, walking up line. Gamer Destroyer just gets insta-destroyed by Darkjuice.
Wow.
Shatter damage actually goes crazy, though.
Insane. Yeah. I really do not know how I feel about Gamer D on this.
Oh, there's a huge bot play going on. Darkjuice assaults in, catches Nightmare, but Nightmare is way too fast in the mist. Strand has no mana. He has no mana, but it doesn't matter. Here comes Swain with the W. He does get the slow on top of Dart Juice. But is he able to walk it out? We'll see from here. Yes, he does.
No, really no way to catch there. No mana on Strand makes it very hard for Jinx to get W off, and just not much they can do. Again, more bot side T1, T2 aggression, and no kills this time. Now done every permutation of it. Had one CUI win, one FA win, and now no one wins.
It does look like Callista herself was looking towards the Serrated Dark Crush, but instead swapped to another dagger, two longswords and boots. Which I think is fine, considering he wants to try to stay on top of the Jinx Swain as long as possible later in the game, so I think the early boots helps with that. Not quite sure. Oh, David's looking in the Roarnhorn, the Pyrosis right now. Pyrosis does go in, but he doesn't really have the mana to follow up. Belling Breath comes out, flashes over the W, E-combos, he's going crazy. Dart Juice is here to follow up. Does he secure the kill this time? Oh, yes he does. Meanwhile, mid lane, Lord Tybington catches out Orianna with her Frozen Tomb, I think it's called. I forgot. Something like that. And it's another kill over to Nightmare. Okay,
Yes,
it is
Frozen Tomb.
I know some ability names.
You know enough.
But yeah, junglers are making plays around the map, and it's a 1-for-1 trade overall, but because of the tempo set by Nightmare showing up mid, they're able to get free grubs off of it. And it looks like Dart Juice might try to aim for the dragon because he knows that grubs are being taken. So we'll see from there. David's trying to clear the wave as much as possible, hopefully to get a slow push going. Actually, it's way too clear to do a slow push, but you know, it's a stacked wave. He's trying to alleviate as much pressure as he can. But Pyrosis should be able to freeze it though.
Just gonna train jungle objectives across the map. I don't. He is just gonna be able to freeze that. Good attempt on the steal from Strand with the W, but gets smited away by Dart Juice. Warren's strong enough now that I don't think this wave state's gonna matter too much for him. He's just gonna trade a little bit of HP for it. I think he just gets the wave on the tower anyway. I think David thinks the same way. It is, but okay, Pyrosis just gonna hold it.
Now, if we take a look at the minimap though, Nightmare is taking
top
topside jungle. So, if what the play I'm seeing is coming out, David should go down here actually. The W does land from the Viego at max range. Hook shot hits,
no hex
gets
tech
buffered by the W,
Here's
but
hex
it
tech.
doesn't matter. Nightmare picks up the kill on top of David, and that's a huge freeze that's going to be, you know, stuck there on Pyrosis' side.
That is going to be rough for David. He even had the pink ward in preparation for that, but Viego just too fast on that EW. Pyrosis able to cross the lane so quickly with the hook shot. And Davis just goes down, and as you said, he's going to lose so much. Already down 13 CS, and the wave is frozen, so that number's only going to get higher. And now we really start to see the Nightmare matchup, Camille versus Ornn. But everywhere else in the map, also not looking super great for Feeders. Anonymous, Tubbyton has a good lead. Looks for another trade on Flash of Night. It kind of looks bleak in every lane. Every lane is either winning or even for COI. But we will have to see in the mid game, once these team fights start to break out, or these larger skirmishes, if that big wombo combo engage fight's able to turn the tide of this game into Feeders Anonymous' favor.
Right. Now, I will say, Nyla does have Serrated Dirk and Cloak compared to the Hearthstone Axe, so she should have an advantage over Jinx. It looks like a huge mid-scuffle is going to happen. Azure is walking in a pretty bad situation, forced to flash, but hooks back in on top of Pyrosis, uses ultimate. Volo comes out, stuns up Pyrosis. Is Pyrosis going to die? Nope, hookshot's out.
That's tragic for Flash of Night. Has to feel so bad. Command Shockwave, only 10-15 seconds off coming back. 3 people standing right on top of Ori Ball. And David now just going to pressure Nightmare some deep within the enemy's blue side jungle. And now everyone's kind of grouping already. David's hunted out by Swain W. I think he's on a pink as well.
Oh, the Command Shockwave comes out! Azure landing the hook brittle on top of Lord type of Game Destroyer, but I don't think they have enough damage currently. David's taking really low. Nightmare's flashing in, trying to follow up. David uses the Orin Horn, hopefully to pick up a kill.
Oh, the Forge
Snipes the Swain. Arctic Assault comes out, but Nightmare is going to leave after the reset.
Big Call of Force God there from David, getting the pick on the back end onto Gamer Destroyer. Making it a bit more of an even trade. Azure goes down, just not enough to get Tubby. No HP, no mana, but no way to get him dead. And he's just gonna back. Shutdown on Night, or a bounty on Nightmare. Gonna be interesting to see if Yuzan is gonna be able to pick that up, or if Nightmare is just gonna snowball even further.
I feel like with the game state it is right now, it's going to be really difficult for feeders to pick up the bounty on Nightmare. Granted, later in fights, they do have a lot of CC to hopefully get the Nyla and Orianna a lot of damage on top of Nightmare. But at the current game state, probably not. Dark Juice does catch out Gamer Destroyer. Azure is coming in from behind, hopefully to catch Strand. Strand flashes, 2 flashes come out on Kalista and Dark Juice. The Apotheosis comes out, stuns thrown. Who gets the final kill? Kalista yourself. Nyla with a 1-0 lead right now. Lord Tubbyton is walking bot. He might be able to catch
going
Nyla.
in.
Will they commit to it? No, they won't.
Just too far gone for Tubbyton to make a play there. As tempting as it is, just doesn't want to overextend. No play to be made. Now, if David was on Lissandra, I think he would have went for it.
Probably. Granted, Lissandra, he's probably not as quick as compared to in the last season.
No, not exactly, but wouldn't stop him from trying.
Pyrosis is just dancing around David right now, but he doesn't really have much of a choice because of the disadvantage he's in. David goes in with the Ram's charge, knocks up Pyrosis to get a grass stack, but it's not even really doing much afterwards. He's trying to just keep the wave frozen as much as possible.
Cancels the Brittle Auto. Probably a good choice. Another grass proc. Brittle Auto doing a lot of damage. Ease back in. Call of the Forge God. I can't see what's happening in the fight. Camille hook shots away. Gonna get out. Azure engage on Tubby, and he's just gonna get bursted down. Has Frozen Tomb up, but not enough time to cast it, and probably realizes he wouldn't get out anyway.
I feel like he could have at least stalled for Nightmare, who's on Raptors right now, but also
it was possible. It would still be a 2v1, and he would have had to burn his ultimate. But either way, gonna look like a dragon take from Feeders Anonymous. I doubt that Conflict of Interest is gonna be able to contest. Hex Flash forward from Azure. Gonna get E'd in by Gamer D. Still kind of looking for it, but I think he's going to fall back now. Nightmare going for the steal! He misses the smite, 2 HP. W's forward, he has R to get over the wall, and he does make it out.
Oh, Azure tries to go for the hook, but he's unable to snack it.
Azure going to walk into Chompers. Gamer D going to pull out ult. Big choke point for Gamer D to get a lot of damage down. E comes in, Tubby's going to get the kill on Azure. And a dragon for a kill. So close to getting that pick on Nightmare. Not enough.
Nautilus was too big to see the Chompers.
Yeah, too big to see him. Maybe didn't see him because they went back in that bush. I mean, he could have seen him throwing them over, but sometimes the animation's hard to see in a hectic fight.
Alright.
And again, now Dark Juice, 2-0-2. He's down a decent bit of CS on Nightmare, but both jungglers kind of strong. It's a little hard to shut down Nightmare, but they almost had that opportunity, and I kind of can't blame them for greeting for it. Poor David, though, has to lane against this Camille. Taking a lot of pressure. It's going to be a Herald fight, this time not at 1955. Zero on the top side as well. It's 4v3. Q goes nowhere. Tubby able to dodge it. Both sides just gonna fall off. And I can't blame conflict of interest. I think that's a good choice. Swain, Gamer D, not going to make it there in time for that fight.
Oh,
Maybe
Flash
just
Knight
gonna get the
tries to
bag.
catch out Game Destroyer as he's recalling, but is unable to send the orb out just in time.
Everyone's posturing topside. Looks like a 4v4 is going to break out here. Flash of Night in that bush does get spotted by Gamer 2, I believe. Be a bit of chunk on Azure. Gonna break the Celestial opposition shield, but Nightmare
don't.
posturing aggressively.
I don't think they know Flash is in that bush. Well, now they do.
Well, now they
Lord
do.
Tubbyton gets stunned. He's
Gonna
unable.
stop the E! Lord Tubby's balls right there in the fight. No more command shockwave. Nightmare down. Ult coming out from Gamer Destroyer. Nightmare 1 HP on the backline on Azure. Azure falls. Takes him up. David's gonna walk towards the fight, but Nightmare's going after him too. I don't know how I'd ever catch him, but overall, just a 1-for-1, but gonna continue going for this Herald. The 3v3 continues. Gamer Destroyer back in the bush. Call of the Forge God. Gonna land on Nightmare and Gamer D. Big W for follow-up from Sejuani. Flash on the backline from David. Gonna get the pick on Nightmare. Hextech ultimatum going down on Dark Juice, but it's not gonna be enough. Gamer D, 1 HP on the side. Gonna follow the Flash of Night. Pyrosis, gonna hookshot. Hookshot's back to go for Flash of Night. Not enough to get in range. W coming out from Sejuani. It's not gonna be enough. Pyro, 1 HP. Passive comes out. Still not enough. And a clean 3-for-0. Callista under tower. Apotheosis. Strand flashes away. Lands Q. And it's gonna just trade 1-for-1. But tower crashing. And Feeder's Anonymous. Big team fight. Big 3 versus 3. They're gonna get the objective. And a 3-for-0.
Did Azure just hook through Hex Slash in front of Tubbyton?
Azure, I gotta give a shout out to them. Second coming of David. Just no cares. Just gonna Hex Flash on anything that moves. And, I mean, what a fight. What a fight for Feeder's Anonymous. They're so strong now. The gold's almost even, but they're up so many objectives that I think they have the advantage here.
Ooh, Nightmare might be able to catch out Dart Juice here. Pyrosis here to follow up on top of Dart Juice. Dart Juice flashes, but there's nowhere to go after that. Is he going to be blocked by the Arctic Assault? Yup. Shutdown goes over to Pyrosis. It looks like Nightmare's ready to follow up on top of David. Tubbyton's here behind, trying to catch up. David is taking so much damage, but thank God he has Tabbies and Sunfire. He doesn't take as much damage as he would have normally. Meanwhile, mid lane, Gamer Destroyer is getting poked out just a little bit. Flash Knight's in a really bad spot. Forced to flash. Nautilus takes a hook. Command Shockwave goes out. Lord Tubbyton still has Frozen Tomb. She uses it on top of Azure. Azure gets killed by Nightmare. Nightmare gets the reset. Is looking for a huge tower dive. Lord Tubbyton picks off David. It's a 2-for-0 and a free tower for Conflict of Interest.
And wow, the kind of solo queue team comp, not a lot of coordination, but making it work. Nightmare popping off. Maybe the B1 Viego, was the call. He's putting in good work on it. And now Callista herself might be a little too far forward. Tubbyton just gonna drive by W. Apotheosis coming out on a Nightmare. W goes nowhere. Back onto Tubbyton. Tubbyton gets really low. That was a little bit scary. A free pick almost became a 1-for-1. But at the end of the day, Dragon gonna probably go the way of Conflict of Interest. Free pick onto Callista. And now, another turn in this game, as now it looks like Conflict of Interest's game.
Yeah, that was a huge turnaround for Conflict of Interest, getting the shutdown off of Sejuani, as well as picking up really important kills on Nightmare and Tubbyton. So these fights that they want to be playing for towards the mid game is going to be much stronger compared to what they were set up before. Dark Juice playing for bowling on top of Tubbyton, gets the smash on top of the top tower.
Yeah, he gets a tier 1 off the Herald. Good damage on the tier 2 top. Pretty basic use of the Herald, but wow, 30 some, almost 40 CS up for Pyrosis on David here, and it's gotta hurt as Ornn, but there's not much he can do. It's such a hard matchup. And now entering into a bit of a lull here, but after watching game 2 and some of this game, probably not going to last long. These fights just keep breaking out out of seemingly nowhere. You're going to land from Gamer Destroyer. A little bit of a trade, getting those passive sacks on Swain. I like the Rylai's rush, and I like the Oblivion Orb rush.
Hex Flash!
Hex Flash. Command Shockwave gonna stop Tubbyton's E. Frozen Tomb for Nightmare to come in on the side. Lands W. Big damage. Flash of Night gonna get the kill on Tubbyton. Nightmare gonna trade it off. Big fight down here. Callisto 1v3ing. Apotheosis gonna land. Almost had a kill on Strand. The fight top turns. Another 1v3. Pyrosis is gonna get the pick, and Nightmare's gonna run away. Oh, but Bola not gonna land on a Nightmare. Two crazy cross-map 1v3s. I don't understand. And more fighting over Gromp this time.
We love Gromp in this house.
Nightmare on the wrong side of Dark Juice. Doesn't matter. They're gonna lose 2 towers in the mid lane. And even with a crazy fight, Conflict of Interest gonna be up 4k gold off those towers. And again, Conflict of Interest sitting pretty. Nightmare take his blue side now. He's pretty strong. Camille has the shutdown for now. I'm actually kind of surprised Nightmare doesn't have a shutdown as well. But he did die not too long ago.
That is a lot of gold towards their carries right now. Every single one of them has gold advantage over Feeders Anonymous right now.
It's kind of looking rough for Feeders Anonymous, but I will say, Callisto herself has been kind of putting up a bit of a showing on Nyla. The issue is he just keeps getting caught out, and he's not even in these team fights. And I think if he joins team fights with the Command Shockwave, Feeders Anonymous can still win some of these fights. Looks like 3 people gonna go on Flash of Night here. Gamer D gonna flash forward on Sweeney, gonna miss. Zapper's coming out. Command Shockwave gonna pull them back just to disengage. And I think that's the end of the fight. Gonna burn Gamer Destroyer's Flash in exchange for Oriult. I don't think that's a great trade for Conflict of Interest.
I think he was overestimating how much his Rylai's would be able to help with the catch, and so, while trying to see if the soul was going to be able to catch out the Jake Callisto or something, or Flash of Night wasn't worth it. But speaking of getting caught out, Dark Juice getting absolutely smashed.
Dark Juice attempting to Q directly through the Hextech ultimatum. Not gonna work like that. Twist yourself with exhaust. Gonna do a lot of damage. Apotheosis blocked by Frozen Tomb. Gonna try and heal a little bit off wave, but he has no healing items yet. It's gonna get taken down by Lord Tubbyton. Call the Forge God going in. Camille E, but it gets buffered by Camille's E as well. Ult coming down from Gamer Destroyer too. Strand's a little hyped up right now. They're all low HP on the side of Conflict of Interest, but not a lot of damage. Baron's gonna fall from Nightmare. TP behind from Tubbyton. Now Feeders Anonymous is on the run. Baron's down, gets a kill on Pyrosis. Tubbyton E's over the wall. Ball on the back line, but Gamer Destroyer's E. And Flash of Night gonna fall too. And that's awful for Feeders Anonymous. And it has to feel so bad. Baron falls to what looks like a 1 HP COI team, but it's just not enough with Tubbyton coming in the back line and just mopping the floor with what's left of Feeders Anonymous.
There is so much going wrong in there. First, their jungler got picked off. Callisto's also getting picked off bot lane. And so now you're stuck with Flash of Night doing most of the damage, and they were all so low, especially since Baron. I don't know if they removed it, but Baron reducing their armor and magic resist should have been strong enough for them to follow up damage, but it's just they were able to edge out like how much HP they were able to run away with. Azure does catch out Lord Tubbyton. Lord Tubbyton flashes. Hopefully he needs the Blast Gun to get away. But David is ready for this. Will he be able to catch Lord Tubbyton? Ooh, Azure misses the hook.
Oh.
Dark Juice reading 3 stories ahead of time, not able to catch Tubbyton because Nightmare and Strand were waiting for him.
Wow, almost forced them into a pick on Dark Juice. This game looking a lot more like game 1. 9k gold difference almost, 8.5k, and with the Baron not even dragging her objective advantage, they might be looking for a fight here to end from COI. Tio goes Demon Destroyer whiffs E, Nightmare sitting in the E, Finish Destroyer ward. Bola is down. The only ultimate down's Bola. E landing on David.
Follow up Nightmares posturing for an engagement.
It looks a little forced, but they have Baron. Darchu's a little too far forward. Flash W coming out from Nightmare. Azure on Pyrosis. Command Shockwave coming out. E on the back line. W coming out from Tubby. A lot of damage on the back line carries. Darchu's gonna fall in the fight. David taking a lot of damage from Pyrosis. Hextech Ultimatum coming down. Azure's on the side. Flash of Night gonna get 1v1 by the Swain. Triple kill for Gamer Destroyer. And with Baron buff and 6 grubs, it looks like that's gonna be all she wrote for the series. There's no way they're gonna spawn back in time. Conflict of Interest gonna take the series 2-1 with a commanding Game 3 performance. What do you think, Gar? Wild ride!
God. Lord Tubbyton is a freaking dodging god or what, man? Setting up all these important fights with, the E and followed by the Frozen Tombs just absolutely destroyed that last fight. And, gotta put respect on Gamer Destroyer as well. He was able to live long enough to get his Rylai's going and the Zaxak, and he was just melting their tanks.
I'm thoroughly impressed with Gamer Destroyer's performance in all 3 games. He was actually doing so well. Even the games they lost, those Bard ult every time. He was landing them perfectly. The Sona crescendos, and then in game 3, the Swain triple kill to win the game. Beautiful engage with the Lissandra E on the backline, Wing 2 prio targets, ulting out Flash of Night. And it's just easy for a Swain to clean up such good engage. And just well played split fight. And Feeders Anonymous comp doesn't work in those split fights. They only have 2 carries and they can only be split so far. All the pressure from the Lissandra and Swain. It's just too much for Feeders Anonymous to bear. 9k doled down with Baron waves coming in and with no Bola on Sejuani. And a well played fight ends a roller coaster of a series, honestly. Game 1 was so commanding from Conflict of Interest. Then Game 2, Wild Ride, written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan. And then Game 3, Conflict of Interest, thoroughly in the driver's seat. Misplays by Feeders Anonymous. And eventually, beautiful end fight, played so nice by Conflict of Interest. Close out our first series to go to a 3rd game.
Oh, I have nothing to say. Well, folks, that was a banger of a series. Hopefully, Kat, you had a fun time.
Yeah.
Watching all of that.
It sure went better than my game. But a beautiful one to watch. That game too, especially. That's going to be one to top as Summit Season 4 moves forward. Such a wild ride. 40-minute game. I think we ended somewhere in the mid-80s on kills. Crazy. Almost 2 kills a minute. Just what a game. What a series, honestly. It's good to cast it here with you, Gar. Anything last you want to say?
All of these players are trying to pad their KDs for Summit Seasons2.com. Let me tell you.
Rep it out. And of course, Conflict of Interest has to win. It says right there in the script. But I think that's all we have for Conflict of Interest, Feeders Anonymous. COI taking it 2-1. And I believe that is the last game of the weekend for the opening weekend of Summit Season 4.
That is. All right, we'll see you guys next week as we
Make
start
sure to
for
catch the
week
next
2
stream.
of Summit.